Sorry about that. Can you hear? Oh, excuse me. There we go. That's a bit better. Right, is the mic nice and clear? Can you hear me loudly and clearly? I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to talk a bit about football. Just a little bit. Just a little bit about a game today. Manchester United versus Arsenal. Manchester United were in the title race for what? Best part of a week, right? That's got to be the shortest title race I've ever seen. No disrespect, but that has got to be the shortest title race I have ever seen. Manchester United were in the title race for about a week. And with all due respect, it looks like they've managed to bottle themselves out of the title race in a space of a week. I watched the result against Crystal Palace midweek. I thought that was pretty inept. And the performance against Arsenal today, I don't think was a great performance at all. Excuse me 1 second. Someone's just really irritating me. Just please, thank you very much. Thank you. So there you go. Brian Burke is saying, it wasn't a title race. That was just excitement from beating Manchester City. Let me ask you a question, Brian, because you're a Man United fan, and I'm hoping we can hear from some Man United fans today, and also from Arsenal fans. Basically, from anybody who's interested in this Premier League title race. I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about the game between Man United and Arsenal today, and what you think about Man United's performance, whether you think Arsenal can win the league, but mainly with a focus on Manchester United. I also want to look at Erik Ten Hag, because in my opinion, I just feel like this guy, I think overrated is a bit of a strong word, but he does seem to be getting a lot of slack from Man United fans that perhaps the likes of a Jose Mourinho and a Louis van Gaal didn't get when they were actually at Manchester United winning trophies. And Erik Ten Hag hasn't really won anything yet, but he's getting a whole lot of leeway from the fans. And I don't know why he's getting as much leeway as Mourinho and Van Gaal, especially when you look at the way that Man United are playing. So first and foremost, Brian, but how do you feel about the way Man United play today? I tell you what, the reason why I'm doing this video is I had a look today at some of the channels, some of the more popular Manchester United channels online. In particular, I had a look at Mark Goldbridge's channel, The United Stand, to see his analysis of the game today. And Goldbridge turned around in his analysis and he said he thought Man United were right with Arsenal in the first half. And he said, that the reason that he lost this game was because the club, so the Glazers basically, haven't invested enough in the squad. That was basically what he said. He said Man United lost this game in the last 20 minutes. They were on par with Arsenal, and it looked to him like the reason why they lost is because Ten Hag didn't have a bench, didn't have anybody to bring on. They were tired legs in the last 20 minutes, and that is where they lost the game. Any Man United fans, Brian, anybody listening, do you agree with that? Because from what I will say is this, right? From an outsider looking in, right? The football, first and foremost, that I would say that Manchester United are playing at the minute, would you say that's quality football? Would you say the football they play is good football? I've watched them the last against Crystal Palace midweek, and I watched them against Manchester City the week before, and I watched them tonight against Arsenal. Would you say that a lot of the tactics that Man United are playing in a minute are counter-attack tactics? In terms of what I see a lot from Man United is I don't see a lot of passing out of the back, building up in midfield, lots of triangles in the midfield, lots of possession football, building up passes and keeping the ball until they eke out a chance. What I've seen a lot from Manchester United, especially in them last 3 games, particularly in the games against City, particularly in the second half against Crystal Palace, and particularly today against Arsenal, is play the ball out from the back, Christian Eriksen drops deep, and then they're looking to long balls over to Marcus Rashford or Ante on the wings and hope. Would you say that's a fair comment, Brian, in terms of some of the football that United have been playing in the last couple? Rashford's been on a fantastic run of form, but it does seem like a lot of these tactics seem to involve, Christian Eriksen dropping deep, receiving the ball of the centre backs or Luke Shaw, and then just like whipping that ball over the top. They're looking to get Rashford and Anthony running into space and beating guys at the back for pace and getting in one-on-one on goal. That's what it seems to be for me. I watched today. Bruno Fernandes is supposed to be a playmaker. Bruno Fernandes was literally anonymous tonight in this game versus Arsenal. He's supposed to be your playmaker, isn't he? Along with Eriksen, he's supposed to be your ball player. He's supposed to be the one to drop short of the strikers and find that pass, to find that incisive pass. He was absolutely... The only thing I saw from Bruno Fernandes today was Bruno Fernandes tracking back along with Luke Shaw to help Mark Xhaka, which he did a good job of. He did a good job today of helping Shaw double up on Xhaka, because you don't want Xhaka getting one-on-one with anybody because of his pace, and you saw the tremendous goal that he scored today for Arsenal in their win. But as a United fan, are you okay with the quality of the football that you are playing? Because what I said is this: I actually do talk to a few United. I will get through. We do have some comments, and I will read them all out in a sec here. But I just want to say, I do talk to United fans every now and again, and I want you to have a look at United's run-in, right? Because there's been a lot of talk about Man United in the title race. And what I've been saying is, well, hold on a minute. Man United have gone on this unbeaten run. No disrespect, but let's have a look at the teams you've played. So you look at the teams that Man United have played. When was that? Here we go. So it's around about here, right? It's around about this time. You got beaten 6-3 by Manchester City on the 22nd. That really was a 6-0 game, wasn't it? City completely took their foot off at like 6-0. And United, Anthony scored a worldie. And I think Anthony Martial scored some goals in the back end, right? But you got beat by 6-3, yeah, in a men against boys game by City, right? Away from home, right? Now, I just want to say, if you look here at this little run-in that you've played since then. I'm looking at Premier League games. You've played Everton, Newcastle, fair enough, you got a draw. You beat Spurs, that was good. You did a draw with Chelsea, right? You've played West Ham, Aston Villa, Fulham, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Bournemouth, and that's what you had in the run-up to when you played Manchester City, right? So the point I was trying to make is, what I was trying to say was, well, in order to really judge Erik Ten Hag, yeah, in order to judge, where Manchester United lie in the grand scheme of things, we need to see how Manchester United do against the more established teams. Fair enough, they've gone and got a result there against Tottenham. You can see there they've got a draw against Chelsea. The result against City we'll talk about in a minute. But let me ask you this, Brian Burke, and any Man United fans, and Arsenal fans, jump in for how you think Man United played against you today. Any Arsenal fans, any fans of City fans, Spurs fans, how do you think Man United have played against you in the last couple of games? What do you think about their quality of football? Brian Burke, if Jose Mourinho set up and played the kind of football today that Manchester United have played in the last couple of games against Palace, and they've played in the second half against Manchester City, and they played today for about 70 minutes against Arsenal, which is basically, Eriksen receiving the ball from the centre-backs and lobbing the ball up, 50-yard ball over the top to Wout Weghorst, and trying to get Wout Weghorst to nod it on into Anthony and Rashford who are running behind. You guys have just signed Wout Weghorst. Can I ask you a question? I saw his debut against Crystal Palace, and I saw Wout Weghorst tonight. Can anybody tell me a time where Luke Shaw or any wing-backs have gotten to the byline and crossed the ball for Wout Weghorst? That man's had absolutely no service since joining Manchester United whatsoever. Trying to think about, what is the point in buying a target man if your wing-backs and your wingers are struggling to get to the wing and cross the ball? Let me read some of these comments in, but I haven't even started yet with United yet, because I just feel like if Jose Mourinho put in the kind of performance that Manchester United did today, which for me was pretty negative, really. It was pretty much, like I said, a bunch of long balls out to Rashford and Anthony, hoping for them to run in behind the wing backs and create something. But it didn't seem to be a lot of build-up play. You got pressed out of the game. You didn't really pass it out of the back very well. And if Jose Mourinho is bringing out a performance like that, he wouldn't get with a performance like that. Let me see what Brian Burke's saying. He's saying, we were missing Casemiro and he's our best player, so I expected us to get stuffed, if I'm honest. I thought our fullbacks were poor and our midfield was non-existent. I thought Shaw did a good job one-on-one versus Saka, to be honest. I think Shaw did a good job defending Saka. A couple of times they had to leave him 1v1. And I think he did a very, very good. I thought Aaron Wan-Bissaka did a very good job 1v1 against Martinelli today. What do you think about that, Brian Burke? I thought Aaron Wan-Bissaka did a very good job one-on-one versus Gabriel Martinelli. Ironically, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been absolutely vilified by Manchester United fans all season. And actually, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been one of your best players in the last 3 or 4 games in your big games down the stretch. He's been one of your best players. Grasspatch says, as an Arsenal fan, I can say I think we have a great chance of winning the league this season. I just think, look, I'm in a minute. The teams I'm watching are mainly Man United and Barcelona are the teams I'm watching. But I have to say, watching Arsenal play football today, fantastic football. Even look at how they play football versus how Man United play football. They play to feet a lot, Arsenal. Like I said before, they do lack. It was been a long time since I watched football, but you remember back in the Arsene Wenger days, they talked about the mythical fox in the box. It'd be interesting to see Arsenal with a true number 9 on the end of things, with a true number 9, because a couple of times, like I said, you've got Xhaka beating men out wide, and then he's out on the byline, out on the wing, and they've got to play balls to feet, haven't they? They can't just whip across him because they haven't got that big number 9 target man who can get on the end of things and nod something. It'd be interesting to see if Arsenal had that big number 9 type. What Man United basically are trying to achieve without Weghorst. Be interested to see how good Arsenal could be if they could bring on that number 9, and they could just get Xhaka out wide and just whip in some crosses and have a different look, because they do play to feet a lot, Arsenal, but they are excellent. I'll tell you what, I like the look of that Odegaard as well. He looks a right quality operator, Martin Odegaard. I've seen some of his goals this season, and I see some of his crossfield passes today, switching the play. I thought he impressed me for Arsenal. I thought Martinelli, like I said, didn't manage to beat Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the 1v1, but I still like what I saw a lot of from Martinelli. And there's somebody else. Who's the Zinchenko? Is he the left back? Looked outstanding today for me. I thought Zinchenko looked excellent. Let's have a look here. I'm just going to go through some comments here. Brian Burke says about Manchester United. Compared to the last 5 years, I think it's quality. We can play out of the back and push through the midfield much better than under Ole and Jose. Well, I have to wait and see. I mean, I did see a little bits and bobs of Man U under those two managers, but I have to wait and see it. I didn't see much in it. You guys have spent £200 million in that January transfer window. £200 million. That didn't look like... How much money did it... Can somebody tell me, how much money did Arsenal spend this summer in the transfer window? We know United spent £200 million. How much money did Arsenal spend in the window? And look at the kind of football they're playing. I'm not happy with the kind of football Man United are playing. Giving up the ball way too much. Not playing through the midfield at all. For me, Bruno Fernandes was anonymous. So I'm looking at it again. I don't know. I'm looking at it again and I'm thinking, what's going on in this club? What's going on in this club? Is it the Glazers? You've got people like Mark Goldbridge blaming the Glazers. They're saying the Glazers haven't invested enough in the squad. Does anybody buy into that? Does anybody buy into the thing that the Glazers have been the downfall of Manchester United? It's an interesting topic. I mean, listen, they ain't the greatest owners in the world, but whether you like it or not, like, they have spent money this season. They have spent money. And like I said, obviously, like, you know, Ten Hag, you know, they're missing a proper number 9. Wout Weghorst, obviously, is a temporary solution. We all know United are missing a striker. Marcus Rashford isn't a number 9. Anthony isn't a number 9. We know United need a target man. We know United need a proper forward man in there. But at the same time, look, do you know what I mean? You spent £200 million. Is the quality of football... I'm just not convinced about the quality of football they're playing under Erik Ten Hag. That's my humble opinion. Brian Burke is saying we're a totally different team of Casemiro. I don't know, you know. We'll wait and see. I watched Casemiro against Crystal Palace. Would you say that Casemiro bossed the midfield against Crystal Palace, Brian Burke? Because to me, when you play Crystal Palace in midweek, you know, in that last half an hour, for me, Crystal Palace were looking, you know, they certainly had their fair share of possession. Didn't look to me like Casemiro was bossing the midfield, yeah? Against, it didn't look to me like he was bossing that midfield against Crystal Palace. It certainly didn't look to me like he was bossing the midfield against Manchester City, to be honest. The way I read that Manchester City game, and I could be wrong, like I said, United extremely dangerous on the counter-attack. Marcus Rashford is going through an absolutely tremendous bit of form at the minute, right? With his goal-scoring record, his pace. Let me just say this now. I don't like Marcus Rashford, right? But his finish today against Arsenal, I have to be honest and say, that is a world-class goal that Marcus Rashford scored today. Genuinely, I mean, the way he's taken that ball on the edge of the area, he's only got a fraction of the near post to aim at. He's got Gabriel in front of him. Gabriel doesn't even move to him because he thinks he's got everything covered. The angles are covered. And the way Rashford's bent that ball outside to inside towards that near post, that goal from Rashford, I have to say, was top quality. Brian Burke thinks he bossed the midfield against Crystal Palace. I don't think Casemiro ran that game against Crystal Palace. Brian Burke, let me tell you something. On the 16th of February, this is who you're going up against. You're going up against Barcelona Football Club, who I watch every single week at the minute. When you go up against Barcelona in the Nou Camp, yeah, Let me know about Casemiro bossing the midfield then. Because you're going to be up against Gavira and Pedri. Then you're going to know the meaning of what bossing the midfield is. That's what you call bossing the midfield. When you see Frenkie de Jong, Busquets, Pedri and Gavi against you lot in the new camp, when they're going to be having about 70% possession, that's what you call bossing the midfield. I don't honestly believe Casemiro bossed the midfield against Crystal Palace. I'd love to see the second half possession statistics against Crystal Palace. See how much possession they had in the second half. Because they seemed to be probing in that second half, and United sat back and invited them on. But, Brian, you know more about the club than me. Talk to me about Ten Hag, Brian. Is he the right man for the club? Guys, in the chat, if Jose Mourinho put in a performance like that today, how many chances did Man United have in this game against Arsenal today? Rashford scored a worldie. The goal that Lisandro Martinez scored was a massive fuck-up between Ramsdale and who was it? It was Ramsdale and I forgot his name. There was a massive fuck-up between an Arsenal centre-back who got in between Ramsdale, who went to punch the ball out. So the second goal was an Arsenal fuck-up. It was a great header from Lisandro Martinez, but the second goal was an Arsenal mistake. Would we agree with that, yeah? The first goal was an absolute worldie for Marcus Rashford, right? Marcus Rashford had a chance in the second half where he beat two men on the left-hand side, cut in, had a shot, and it was excellently saved by Ramsdale. And Scott McTominay had a chance from 25 yards out, curling the ball towards the far post. Excellent save by Ramsdale. Thank you very much, Tony, for the support. Really appreciate it. So Brian Burke, where are the chances that you're creating in these games? Are you building pressure in these games? Doesn't seem to me like you're creating a lot of chances, building a lot of pressure. Arsenal built pressure on Manchester United throughout the game, particularly obviously in the last 20 minutes, but Arsenal built pressure throughout the game. Constantly probing, keeping the ball, pinging it around outside the 6-yard box, probing, waiting for chances, not wasting the ball. To me, you know, you look at United, other than Rashford's worldie, they had 2 chances in 90 minutes. Would you say that's right, Brian Burke, or wrong? Other than that worldie for Marcus Rashford, they've gone into that game today, they've created 2 chances. Marcus Rashford created an excellent chance by himself by beating 2 men on the wing. Can't remember who he beat now, but he beat 2 men on the wing, cut inside, had a shot. Scott McTominay had a shot from 25 yards. That's it. My question to you is, three decent chances created in 90 minutes. Let's be honest. If that was a Jose Mourinho performance, would you be calling up Talk Sport talking about we don't have an identity? We're not playing them. Because when Jose was in charge and when Louis van Gaal was in charge, there was a lot of talk about the Manchester United way, wasn't there? Do you remember when you were winning games and winning trophies? But you said you didn't like winning trophies because you weren't playing the Manchester United way. But now you're not winning trophies. But are you happy with the way you're playing? Is the way you played today against Arsenal, would you consider that the Manchester United way? Let me know how you feel about that. Is he the right man for the job? Let me see. Brian Burke says, I think he's the right man. The team is very limited. No real options off the bench to bring on apart from 18-year-old Garnacho and Fred. I want to get onto that in a second. Tiz is saying he's doing well for his first year with these players. Does Erik Ten Hag get any stick for the signing of Anthony? How much money did Anthony cost? Anthony Santos. Can somebody tell me? Did Anthony Santos cost upwards of 80 million British pounds? Can somebody tell me? Because Erik Ten Hag insisted on signing Anthony Santos. Am I right or wrong? Let's have a look at Erik Ten Hag's signings. £85 million for Anthony Santos. Anthony's a young player. He's obviously very quick. He's obviously got a lot of skill. We know he's capable of beating players 1v1. He scored a phenomenal goal against Arsenal this time last year in the match at Old Trafford. We've seen little bits and bobs from Anthony. You remember how Cristiano Ronaldo started at Manchester United? Cristiano Ronaldo at Manchester United was a pure waste man. You remember when Cristiano Ronaldo started at Manchester United? He had no end product. He used to go out to the bar line, do 100 step-overs, failed to beat anybody, no end product. And then a couple of years later, Ronaldo turned into the Cristiano Ronaldo that we all went on to know and love. But Erik Ten Hag has insisted on £85 million for Anthony. Does that seem like a good deal to you so far based on what you're saying? And this isn't just for Man United fans. I'm looking for the opinions of Arsenal fans, City fans, Spurs fans. Anthony, £85 million. Based on what you've seen so far, does he look anything like an £85 million player? Because you spent half of your £200 million summer budget on Antony. If that signing goes tits up, does Erik Ten Hag get any heat for that? Just out of interest, Man United fans. If that signing goes tits up, will you hold Erik Ten Hag accountable for that signing? Agent Remedy says, don't worry, Ten Hag will sort United out. He's only had 6 months. Imagine in 3 years. Imagine when he sorts out the press, he is elite. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Brian Burke says, Jose spent nearly 600 million and won 2 B-rate trophies. Jose won you the Europa League though, didn't he? You could call the Europa League a B-rate trophy. We'll see how Manchester United doing it. Did Manchester United top their Europa League group under Erik Ten Hag? Jose Mourinho won you the Europa League, did he not? How did Man United do in the Europa League under Erik Ten Hag? Can I see their group here? You got beaten 4-2 by Cadiz. Away from home here. Did you finish second in your group in the Europa League? Am I right or am I wrong about that, Brian? But did you finish second in your group in the Europa League? And you had the likes of Cadiz in your group and you got beat 4-2 away from home, yeah? You've got Barcelona up next on the 16th, you know. We'll see there. We'll see what Erik Ten Hag can do. Let me know about that. Brian says, yeah, so Antony would have cost us 50, but United decided not to do it when their season started. Yes, but let me ask you something. Why did United refuse to do it? Did United not refuse to do it because Erik Ten Hag insisted on Frenkie de Jong? Even though all the indications coming out of Barcelona Football Club was that Frenkie de Jong did not want to join Manchester United. Is that true or not true, Brian? But were you not... Were Richard Arnold and John Murta, were they not instructed to push for Frenkie de Jong under all and any circumstances, even when it was quite obvious that Frenkie de Jong wanted to stay in Barcelona and that your transfer window in the summer was delayed? You had a list of players that you wanted to sign, but you couldn't bid for them because Erik Ten Hag had you waiting to sign Frenkie de Jong. And when the Frenkie de Jong signing didn't happen, you were left up shit creek with a paddle and had to overpay for players like Anthony Santos. Brian Burke, let me know if that's true or false. Let me know if that's true or false. I'll be following this. David Allen says, was embarrassing today. No possession, all in box. For me, like I said before, honestly, I'm not a Manchester United hater. I am. But I want to ask these fans about, are we going to start holding Erik Ten Hag to the same standards that you held Jose Mourinho and Luis van Gaal? Because you can't tell me that the football that you played against Crystal Palace and you can't tell me that the football you played today against Arsenal was the United way. You can't tell me that. You created 3 chances in the game, to be honest, and nobody can tell me that you deserve to win that game today. Let me get your quick questions. Anybody here, does anybody here think United deserve to beat City in a City game? Or am I a hater for saying that? Does anybody here think United deserve to beat Manchester City in a derby? Or did you think City were on top until they got rattled by that goal? I could be wrong on that. What do you guys think? Am I a hater for saying that? Am I a bit too anti-Man U for saying that? Am I anti-Manchester United for saying that? It looked to me like City were turning the screw in the second half. And then obviously we had that Rashford goal, which in my opinion totally changed the makeup of the game. I don't know. It's very, very interesting. Let's have a look. Brian is saying on Ten Hag, no, that was totally separate. United's boards had switched their targets from Frenkie. Oh, hold on a minute. I think we're going to disagree there, Brian. Erik Ten Hag, I'm pretty sure. Let me ask you another question then. In the summer, are you telling me Erik Ten Hag told the board, don't go after Frenkie de Jong anymore, but John Murta went off and flew to Spain anyway to try and do a deal that Erik Ten Hag told him not to do? Do you remember when John Murta was in Spain? Was it Murta or Arnold? Do you remember when they flew to Barcelona to try and do the deal to get Frenkie de Jong to join Manchester United? Remember how long they were trying for Frenkie de Jong? Are you telling me that Erik Ten Hag told them to cool it off and they kept looking? It was Ten Hag that was giving them the orders the whole time. Ten Hag was telling them, I want this player. That's the reason why your fucking transfer window got delayed by so long. There's no way they would have done that without the without the say-so of Ten Hag. There's no way Murta and Arnold and that would have flown out to Barcelona and got on a plane and tried to do a deal to get a player that Erik Ten Hag had given up on. That's why you literally that's the reason why you dithered so long in the transfer market. It's amazing to me. Erik Ten Hag gets no accountability for what's going on, in my opinion. Adrian Remedy says United were never going to control the game today. That's a fair point. United need time. Fair enough. Squad is a mess. United at the minute are a transition team where they look to match. That's a fair comment. Where they look to Rashford to make the difference. Erik Ten Hag will add. Right. Tell me something then, guys. Who do you want to sign then? Who are we looking to? What players are we looking for? I think that's a very, very fair comment from Adrian Remedy. If there's any Arsenal fans in here, by the way, who want to talk about Arsenal's performance, for Arsenal play some fucking great football. Proper football. Arsenal play proper football. Let me tell you. So if there are any Arsenal fans that want to comment how they thought the game went, I thought Arsenal dominated the game today. And I thought had it not been for that mistake at the back involving Ramsdale and that centre-back, that game could have been a 2-3-4-1 all day. Arsenal bossed that game and deserved to win that game. Who do you think about Manchester United to sign? Dave Allen saying not Harry Kane. I've heard these rumours about Harry Kane and Man United, but I'm struggling because United fans are saying that the Glazers aren't giving you any money. So if the Glazers aren't giving you any money because they're going to be selling the club, then how on earth can you get Harry Kane? For my money, Harry Kane would be an A1 striker for you, wouldn't he? Why would you not want Harry Kane? The guy is a certified 20 a season in the Premier League. In the Premier League, you get Harry Kane, you get an out of the box 20 a season scorer. No ifs or no buts. No wondering if he's going to have to acclimatise to the Premier League. No worries about that. You know what Harry Kane is. Harry Kane does what he says on the tin. Shoots penalties over the bar. I think if Man United could get Harry Kane, that would be absolutely outstanding if they could get Harry Kane. But where's the money going to come from for Harry Kane? Because you guys are telling me that the Glazers are selling up, so they're not going to put any money into the club. So where's the money going to come from for Kane? Let me know about that. Brian Burke, guys, let me know. What striker would you want? Not Kane. If not Kane, what strikers are you interested in? Nasta says, Arsenal don't lose to City twice, then we'll be champions this season. That's what it looks like. You play great football. I'm not a fan of Arsenal. I used to be. I've actually been to Highbury, but I'll tell you what, with the football Arsenal play, and to me, like I said, have they spent big money? It doesn't look to me like Arsenal are a football club that have gone out there and spent big money. Somebody said they spent 50 million. Have they gone out and spent 200 million in the summer? That's such a well-constructed team. And some of the players that I was seeing today, that I haven't seen before, Zinchenko, just look excellent at left back. I like the look of what I've seen from Martin Odegaard. Saka, we know about Saka. I've seen Saka. I think Saka's probably a world-class player, to be honest. Can I ask an Arsenal fan a question? Nasta, can I ask you a question, please? Back when Arsene Wenger was manager of Arsenal, we used to talk about the fox in the box. Right? That number 9. Thierry Henry was never a true number 9. Thierry Henry used to come off the left swing, come off the left side, cut inside and make incisive runs. But Thierry Henry, I would never consider Thierry Henry to be a true number 9, yeah? Do you think Arsenal would benefit from a true number 9 or not? Are you just good enough without it? I don't watch Arsenal, so let me know. There are a few times today I just saw some excellent work from Martinelli and Xhaka on them wings cutting inside. And I'm just thinking, if there's a big number 9 target man, you can just lump that ball and whip that ball in. But Arsenal, because they haven't got that target man in there, it's like they have to play to feet all the time. Let me know about that. Guys in the chat, do you think Arsenal would benefit from just having a target man in there? Even if he's someone you can just bring off the bench to give you a different look. That's what United are trying to do with Weghorst. But at the minute, they're not delivering him any service. Victor Osimhen, I know what he's done. I haven't seen him properly. I know he's banging them in left, right, and centre for Napoli. I think like Victor Osimhen in the summer is going to be one of the most wanted men in world football. So if you want Victor Osimhen, get prepared to spend some serious money. Anybody who wants Victor Osimhen needs to spend some serious money, because I think he's being tracked by most of the big clubs in and around football. Dave Allen is saying someone on a free. Shall I tell you what? Shall I give you a name who I haven't seen properly, but a couple of United fans have been asking for Vlahovic from Juventus as a target man. But I'm not sure if he ends up going to Arsenal. But I could see the logic in somebody like that. They're hoping Juventus are desperate enough to sell and sell at a loss to sign Vlahovic. But there's a couple of United fans that have been asking for Vlahovic. Brian Burke said Arsenal spent over 100 million. Did they spend over 100 million in the summer? Okay, my bad. But United spent double that, didn't they? And obviously, you know, Ten Hag, you know, he's only had 6 months in the job. Let's have a look at these results, Brian Burke. In the big games. Let's have a look at Ten Hag in the big games this season. Liverpool game, you deserve to win that game. I know that game. I know you deserve to beat Liverpool. You was all over Liverpool in that game. That Arsenal game. Would you say that was a bit fortunate, Brian Burke, when you beat Arsenal 3-1 at Old Trafford? Am I right in thinking Arsenal went 1-0 up in that game and there was a very, very marginal offside call? And then United got back into the game off the basis of that. Did you deserve to beat Arsenal 3-1, Brian Burke? Or would you say that score sort of flattered you a little bit? Arsenal went a goal up, it got chalked off by VAR, and then you got back into the game. Let's have a look at Man City versus Man United. Man City was 6-0 up, weren't they? You were never in that game. So Ten Hag got beat 6-0. You got beat 6-0, right? Tottenham, don't remember that one. Chelsea, don't remember that one. But yes, you're right. Casemiro scored in the last minute at Chelsea. D. Thomas is bang on. Chelsea 1-1. Casemiro scored in the very last minute of the game. Right? So you was beaten 6-0 by City. Arsenal, you were a bit fortunate to get a 3-1 against Arsenal. Casemiro scored in injury time against Chelsea. I'm just looking at you. Yeah, it was 6-3, but I'm calling it 6-0 because I think City were like 6-0 up, weren't they? And then United came and got some consolations back. But what do you think? Blue Collar Sports. Who do you support, Blue Collar Sports? So I know. We should have beat Chelsea. So, what do you think about... Let me ask you this question then. Brian Burke, Blue Collar Sports, Adrian Remedy, and all the Arsenal fans that are in the chat, quickly. What kind of football would you like to play? I'm asking you, do you like the kind of football that you're playing in? Are you happy with the style of football that you're playing? And if you are, let me know. If you're not, what kind of football would you like to play? Because can I ask you a question? Would you, if you look at the way Arsenal play today, look at how they played football, do you think it's fair to say that you're a bit a ways away from that? Despite, I'm pretty sure you've outspent them. I mean, Manchester United in the last 10 years have spent more money than anybody in English football. Isn't that right, Richard? Right? Isn't it right that in the last 10 years, Man United have spent more money than anybody in English football? You spent a fucking £1 billion. Man United have spent £1 billion on fucking transfers in the last, decade, right? I'm pretty sure, I'll get the link up in a minute. I'm pretty sure you spent more money than anybody else. Here we go. You spent hold on, what's happened to my screen? Sorry, my screen went doolally there. You spent a fucking £1 billion since Sir Alex Ferguson left. £1 billion. So you've outspent the likes of an Arsenal. And then you look at yourselves today in that game. To me, you look like a borderline top 4 side. Do you think that's fair? You don't look like a side that can make a sustained title challenge at the minute. Do you think that's a fair comment? Do you think I'm being a hater? What do you think? Do you think you look like a side that can genuinely make a sustained 38 game title challenge? Adrian Remedy says, I love how Arsenal play football. I'm an Arsenal fan ultra. Ten Hag will look to play similar. He is a disciple of Guardiola. D. Thomas thinks I'm being fair. D. Thomas says Arsenal play that tiki-taka bollocks, but still look a bit goal shy, reminding me their late Wenger sides that will come 3rd and 4th like today. Do you think they need a target man in there? How do you think Arsenal would look with a proper number 9? Gabriel Jesus isn't a true number 9, is he? What do you think? Gabriel Jesus isn't really a true number 9. He's a fantastic player, isn't he? But Pep played him more as a false 9, didn't he? Tiz is saying, had no direction before Ten Hag, so a lot of money was wasted. So, let me ask you this question then. This season, let's have a look at your business this season. Let's have a look at your business this season. I'm trying to see your business. Where can I get your list of your fucking business this season? Lisandro Martinez, right? I assume you're happy with Lisandro Martinez. But I have to say, to be honest, I thought Lisandro Martinez was outstanding today. To be honest, that centre-back. I've heard the question marks about him being short. But Lisandro Martinez, I have to say, I thought today... Listen, I thought your defence was... I thought Shaw, to be honest, was excellent. He was left one-on-one with Xhaka several times. He managed to track his man, stay with his man. And didn't get beaten too many times at one-on-one. So Lisandro Martinez, you're giving that a thumbs up, yeah? Are we giving that a thumbs up for Lisandro Martinez? You give that a thumbs up, right? Christian Eriksen on a free. I haven't watched Man United too much this season. But you'd have to say Christian Eriksen on a free is good business. Wouldn't we? We'd have to say that, wouldn't we? Christian Eriksen on a free transfer is good business. That's good business. Anthony is bad business. Yeah? Anthony for 85 million is bad business. That's bad business. I don't care what anyone says, yeah? That's bad business. That's on Ten Hag. That's on Erik Ten Hag. This Muppet insisted on him. I haven't seen this fool yet, Tyrone Malacia. Can somebody in the chat tell me, is Tyrone Malacia good business or bad business? Anthony's bad business at the minute. He's bad business. Is Tyrone Malacia good or bad business? Let me know, United fans. Is he good business or bad business? Tiz is saying Anthony getting sent to that boot camp. Yeah, what happened to Jadon Sancho? Yeah, but United fans are telling me he was the next biggest thing in football. What the fuck has happened to Jadon Sancho? Where is he? Where is Jadon Sancho right now? Blue Collar Sports say Malacia's done well for the money paid. Plus, he will get better, in my opinion. Where is he now? Is he unfit or what? I could have sworn I see him warming up today on the touchline, but he never came on. He's fit, isn't he? Pretty sure I saw him near the dugout warming up. You're saying Tyrone Malacia's been very good. Why is he not starting then? I saw him warming up. Do you know what? Do you see this guy? This guy's become... At Man United, you've always got to have a scapegoat, haven't you? Who's your scapegoat at the minute? Your scapegoat is Wout Weghorst. Let me ask you guys in the chat. Wout Weghorst, do you think he's been delivered any kind of service since he's been started for Man United? He started in the Crystal Palace game. I watched that game. I have not seen your wing-backs get to the bite line and whip in one cross for Wout Weghorst. Do you know that? I haven't seen your fullbacks get to the byline and whip in one cross for Wout Weghorst. Maybe one cross in the Palace. Maybe he had one sniff of a header in the Palace game in the first half. But do you think Wout Weghorst has had any kind of service whatsoever? This is what I'm talking about, the way Manchester United are playing and the way Manchester United are using their target men. What do you guys think about that? Since Wout Weghorst has joined the club, because I heard stories about how Luke Shaw was going to love playing with Wout Weghorst because obviously you're going to have Rashford down the left side, overloading with Shaw. Shaw's going to get out wide, whipping crosses. Weghorst is going to be on the end of those crosses. I haven't seen Weghorst on the end of any crosses from Luke Shaw. Anthony's fucking terrible because Anthony's got no end product. Every time Anthony gets out into the byline or gets into open touch or gets into open space, he's fucking it up with a first touch. So Anthony can't even get to the byline to cross it in anyway. What are you guys thinking about Weghorst? I think he's getting a bit of a raw deal. People are slagging him off. But where's the service? People are slagging him off saying he's at Burnley. But where's the service from Wout Weghorst? Where is the service? Where is the service? This is what I'm saying about the style of football you're playing. Brum up your mum says drought to Dreghorst. Drought to This guy's getting no service. Like, he's supposed to be a fucking target man. All I'm seeing in a minute is Eriksen receiving the ball from the centre backs. They're lobbing up to Weghorst, who's dropping short. And Weghorst has got Anthony and Rashford running in behind him. He's trying to head the ball over and play Anthony and Rashford in behind him. And that's it. But other than that, he's getting no service. I also see him dropping so far back into the midfield today to try and receive the ball. At one point, he was almost in line with Eriksen. I mean, he was coming back at times I've seen Wout Weghorst today against Arsenal dropping back to the centre circle to try and pick up the ball, receive the ball, lay the ball on. What's the point in having the number 9 target man if he's coming all the way back to the centre circle to fucking receive the ball, play the ball, and then what? You expect him to then run all the way back into the penalty area and get on the fucking end of something? I mean, what is going on here? Stiff Tackle says, lol, United have had 6 months, 1 real window under Ten Hag. They've made more Really? That's interesting. So United have had 6 months, 1 real window under Ten Hag. They've made more progress in that time than they have in 10 years. Really? You've made more progress, what, under Ten Hag now than you've made in 10 years? Tell me what progress this is. Are you talking about the football you're playing or the results? What are you talking about, Stiff Tackle? The football you're playing or the results? Because the football you're playing isn't very enterprising football. I'm going to look at the Premier League table at the minute, all right? And again, no disrespect. I don't know if Ten Hag will be a success or not, but I have to ask you this. You've been on a very, very good run of late. No question about that. But I'm just saying again, when you went into that run, your little 9-game unbeaten run, right? Who did you play? Again, you were playing the likes of, West Ham, Aston Villa, your Fulhams, your Evertons, your Wolves, and your Bournemouths. Those are the kind of teams you're playing. For me, your season, Man United's season, in terms of winning trophies, right? And you'll probably win the Carabao Cup. You'll probably win the Carabao Cup, right? But in terms of just Europe and Premier League, right? For me, the key part of your season was always going to be this little run right here. This little run in January. For me, this was always going to be your season. Look, Manchester City at home. Crystal Palace away. That's a banana skin game. Arsenal away. You've got the Carabao Cup sorted. You don't care about the FA Cup. And then, of course, in the Europa League, you've got Barcelona on the sea. So for me, the point I'm trying to make is, I know you racked up quite a few wins against a certain level of opposition, but for me, let me know, Brian Burke, let me know if you think I'm wrong, Brian Burke. But for me, the core part of your season in terms of, where you're going to push on and make a legit title challenge, where you're going to push on and prove that you're a very good team. For me, it was always about this little part in January and February here. And you've got Barcelona coming up on the 16th. How do you guys feel you're going to do on the 16th in the Nou Camp against Barcelona? Do you think your Ten Hag ball, do you think your 10 years worth of improvements are gonna save you in the Nou Camp? Let me know how you feel about that. You see how you did against Arsenal, and you think Arsenal keep possession. If you think Arsenal keep possession, you need to have a look at Barcelona Football Club. And boy, they ain't got Martinelli up front. They ain't no Gabriel Martinellis. It's going to be Lewandowski and Dembele. That's who you're going up against. Ain't going to be no fucking Martinellis. You ain't going to be up against no Martinellis. And no, who was the bloke who scored today? Forgot his name, the one who scored 2 goals today. It's going to be Robert Lewandowski. It's going to be Ousmane Dembele. In the midfield, yeah? You know all this Casemiro's dominating the midfield, yeah? You know Casemiro's going to be in that... What? Tyrone Wallace says Arsenal better than Barcelona. Okay, we'll see. All right. I watch Barca every week. They are playing some very, very good football. Do you honestly think Arsenal could dominate Real Madrid the way Barca dominated them last week in the Super Cup? Just out of interest, Tyrone. Go and watch the way Barcelona dominated Real Madrid in the Super Cup and beat them 3-1. Really should have been 3-0. Absolutely passed them off the park. Best performance all season for Barca. They dominated Madrid. And this is Real Madrid who have a midfield of Kroos, Modric. This is Real Madrid that are leading the line with Vinicius Jr. and Karim Benzema. Real Madrid are one of the most premier teams in Europe. They were obliterated by Barcelona last week. Obliterated. Barca are a very, very serious team. Yeah. Ultra coming with them triangle theories. Well, we'll see. We'll cover the game live. Right, anyway. Yeah, that's it. Richard. Eddie Nikita or Lewandowski. Bro. Like I said, Man United have got a chance in that game because Barca don't like pace and counters. And Rashford is an absolute menace. I'll give you that. But we'll talk about it. But anyway, let me get back to this. I want to get back to the table quickly. So Man United are 4th in the table at the minute, right? You're level on points with Newcastle. Fair enough. Newcastle, have they spent a lot of money? They've got a lot of money, haven't they? But they haven't spent a lot of money, have they? Am I right in saying that? Brighton have got a game in hand on you. If Brighton win their game in hand, they're 5 points behind. Blah, blah, blah. So you're kind of fighting for fourth and third, aren't you, really? So can I ask you a question? And I could be wrong, honestly. I don't really know much about football, but you say Man United have looked better under Ten Hag than they have at any point in the last 10 years. Man United fan, I'm asking you, when you think that Ten Hag's made Man United look better now than at any point in the last 10 years, are you talking about results or are you talking about the way they're playing? Because the results say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got you up to second place, right? The results say that Jose Mourinho got you up to second place for the worst squad. And the results say that right now, Manchester United at the minute are looking like they're in a fight for third and fourth. So when you say Erik Ten Hag has got Manchester United in a better state than they've ever been anywhere in the last 10 years of football, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about the way they're playing or are we talking about the results? Let me know about that. What are we talking about? Because the results say that you're not doing any better than you were when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in charge. Is that right or wrong? Let me know. Is that right or wrong? Are the results saying here that you're not leaps and bounds above where you were when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in charge, despite the fact you've just spent 200 million in a transfer window? Or is it the football? Or are you saying the brand of football that you're playing is better than any football you've seen United play in the last 10 years? Is that what you're saying? Because the results to me don't necessarily say that Erik Ten Hag is being a miracle worker at Manchester United. Before the season started, what would you have said was what you were aiming for at Man United, yeah? You spent 200 million in the transfer window and you signed Casemiro, who you're telling me is one of the best midfielders in the world, right? So you signed him, what would you have said? You'd have said, look, we're fighting for top four, innit? Innit? You would have said, for United, you would have said Champions League football. Am I right or am I wrong, innit? You say, well, what do we want from United this season? Fourth place, we want to get into Europe. Well, where are you in the table? You're about fourth place. And we all know Spurs are an absolute shit show at the minute with Conte. Not his fault, but Spurs are a shit show. I mean, look at Liverpool. Who could have predicted before the season started that Chelsea and Liverpool wouldn't be battling for a top four place? So, despite the fact that Chelsea and Liverpool have both had horrendous results as of late, you're still in the fight for top four, aren't you? So do you classify that as, you know, Ten Hag is this and that? Let me go through your comments. I'm learning. Let me go. Tiz is saying Ten Hag is an actual coach. The players are improving. D. Thomas says it's more the mentality of the team, the way he outed Ronaldo. I tell you what, we could talk about that all day. I thought the way that Ten Hag treated Ronaldo was absolutely disgusting, to be honest. I thought the way Ronaldo behaved wasn't great either. But I thought the way Ten Hag treated Ronaldo was disgusting. Can I ask you a question? Ronaldo last season scored 18 goals in the Premier League. Is that true or false? Did Cristiano Ronaldo score 18 Premier League goals, true or false? Was he your top goal scorer in the Premier League? Why do you come in and bench your top goal scorer in the way that Ten Hag treated Ronaldo? Is that the way you... I mean, I know Ronaldo didn't do himself any favours with the interview and the things he said about United. But I'm just saying, if you're looking at it from Ronaldo's point of view, you've just come off a season where United's top goal scorer, you've just scored 18 goals. All of a sudden, Erik Ten Hag comes in as manager and all of a sudden you're now fighting for your place. I've just scored 18 goals last season. Do you know how many times he bailed you out in the Champions League? How many last-minute goals did Ronaldo score in the Champions League last season? How many goals in the last 10 minutes of games did Cristiano Ronaldo score? Oh, okay, let's see Kieran. Kieran says, the fuck you talking about? Ronaldo was a crybaby, then does that fake interview. You don't know what you're talking about. So how many goals did Ronaldo score last season, Kieran? How many did he score? Did he not score 18? Was he not your top goal scorer last season? Did I get that wrong, Kieran? Was Ronaldo not your top goal scorer last season? Did he not score 18 goals for you? Did he not score a series of last minute goals in the Champions League, which bailed you out in games that you were losing? Let me see Cristiano Ronaldo. I believe he scored 18 times in the Premier League last season. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Man United's top goal scorers from last season. And then after we look at Man United's top goal scorers, I want you to tell me why a man who scored 18 goals in the Premier League last season was told he'd have to fight for his fucking place with the likes of Anthony Martial. Can you explain that to me? Would you be upset if you were Cristiano Ronaldo after all you'd achieved in football and you were told after scoring 18 goals a season that you were fighting for your place alongside Anthony fucking Martial, aka Sickno? When was the last time he was fit? Anthony Martial, man. When was the last time Martial was fit? Let me just see this. Hold on. Let me see these top goal scorers for Man United in 2022. 2020 on 22. I want to see how many goals this guy scored, man. I want to see how many goals he scored. Is this correct? Let me know if this is right or wrong on Ronaldo and Ten Hag. Because it's very, very relevant to asking if Ten Hag is the right man for the job. Man United top goal scorers 2022, 21-22. This is all competitions, I believe, yeah? This ain't just the Premier League. According to this list, Ronaldo scored 24 goals for you in all competitions last season. 24 goals. At the age of 36 or whatever. Was he 36, 37, yeah? And he scored 24 goals for you in all competitions, yeah? Am I right or wrong? Please tell me, am I right or wrong? Did Erik Ten Hag come into Manchester United and tell a man who scored 24 goals for them in all competitions last season he was going to have to fight for his place with Anthony Martial? Did that happen, yes or no? Kieran, did that happen, yes or no? I just want to know the answer. Anybody in the chat, can you answer yes or no? Did Erik Ten Hag tell a man who scored 24 goals for him in all competitions that he was going to have to fight for his place with Anthony fucking Martial? You told him you're going to have to fight for his place with Anthony Martial. How many goals has Martial scored for you this season? What's he done for you? I know he scored a couple of consolations against Man City. How's Anthony Martial done for you this season? Did he score a goal against Liverpool and Arsenal? Let me see Anthony Martial. Not disputing his talent, but I'm just trying to figure it out now. Because you told a man who scored 24 goals for you the season before that he was surplus to requirements. And you were putting him on the bench, yeah? You were putting him on the bench, right? For Anthony Martial. So how many goals has Martial scored this season? Please tell me. Let's have a look. Let's get this shit up. How many goals? Why can't you tell me how many goals? Why have I got to look this up? I'm terrible at this. Right, here we go. Is this correct? Can somebody tell me it's correct or not correct about Ronaldo and Ten Hag? According to the page that I've got here, Anthony Martial has scored a whopping 5 goals this season. Press 1 if I'm correct, press 2 if I don't. So Kieran can't answer the question then. There you go. Kieran can't answer the question. Kieran can't answer the question. Kieran. According to this, Anthony Martial scored 5 goals for you this season. 5 goals. 5 goals for you. Is that correct? Can somebody tell me? I'm going to ask you one more time. Listen, Ronaldo was out of order. The interview he gave was out of order. I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying the interview he gave was correct, right? I'm not saying he handled being benched in the correct way. I'm not saying walking off down a tunnel and throwing his toys out of the pram was a good thing. But I'm asking you, Martial, he's been injured. He's always injured, Kieran. He's always injured. That's the point. Martial's always injured. That's part of football. Martial is always injured. He can never stay fit for any kind of string of games. That's the point. Isn't that part of football management? Isn't that part of football management? You look at your guys and you say, fuck, this guy's injury prone. Fuck, can I trust him to be fit during this stretch of games? Fuck, I'm looking at this fucking stretch of games in January. I'm looking at these stretch of games that we got in January. Look what we got. Oh, fuck, we've got City at home, Palace away, Arsenal fucking away, and then we're going to the fucking Nou Camp. 4 big games in the space of 6 weeks. Can I trust Anthony Martial to be fit and on form for a 6-week streak? Let's have a look. No. Right. Do I need backup? Yes. Should I be ostracising players like Cristiano Ronaldo when I know players like Martial aren't fit? Make it make sense. You guys are saying to me, the reason why you lost to Arsenal because you don't have a bench. That's what you're saying. You're saying you don't have a bench, right? You're saying the reason why we got beat from Arsenal is because we've got no bench players. We haven't got a full squad. Ten Hag has to rely on the likes of Alanga. But you could have had Ronaldo. But you're saying he's surplus to requirements for Martial and Martial's not even fit. Where's the sense in that? Don't make no sense, does it? Blue Collar Sports TV says, if Tony Martial wasn't made of paper mache, then he would be a quality player. Should have got rid of him long before Ten Hag. I don't know. I don't know. Let me go through some more comments. So I'm going to go through some more comments. Chuck, Ronaldo was too expensive. Yes, somebody said, why did nobody want Ronaldo? Because his wages are sky high. Simple as that. It's not because he's not a good player. Nobody wants Ronaldo because his wages are too high. So Stiff Tackle said, if Ronaldo is so amazing, how come not a single team in all of Europe wanted him as a free agent? Because he's expensive. He's too expensive. He's good, but is he worth the money that is he worth the weekly wage? You have to answer that question, don't you? How many teams can afford his weekly wage? I'd have loved him to go and sign with Roma, with Jose, and play with Jose Mourinho for Roma as they go and push for a Champions League place. But Roma can't afford him. Roma couldn't even afford Memphis Depay's salary. He offered to take 100k at Bayern. They still said no. How do you know that? Did you, are you his agent? How do you know he offered to take 100k at Bayern? How the fuck do you know that? Who told you that? He offered to take 100k at Bayern. They still said no. Who told you that? Did Jorge Mendes himself tell you that? Or are you just telling me stories? It's like we got Jorge Mendes listening here. Right, I'm done with Kieran now. Kieran keeps messaging, but I'm done with Kieran. Kieran's an absolute clown, mate. Kieran's a fucking clown. He comes on, yeah, and he thinks that Ten Hag... So let me ask you one last question before we move on, right? Let me ask you one last question about Ronaldo and Ten Hag. Let me ask you guys on this question in the chat. Could you guys have done with Ronaldo today against Arsenal? Who would you rather have had today up front? Weghorst or Ronaldo? Is that where we are with with United now? Weghorst or Ronaldo? I'm trying to figure it out. Like, Ronaldo's surplus to requirements, but you're signing strikers who struggle to bang them in for Burnley. Is that where we are now at this club? Ronaldo can't get a game at your football club, but you're signing strikers and starting strikers who can't even bang them in for fucking Burnley. Is that where we are, yeah? Is that where we are? Is that where we are? Ronaldo isn't good enough to get a game for Manchester United, but fucking Wout Weghorst is good enough to get a game for Manchester United. That's where we are with this club. This fan base is mad. This fan base is mad. Bro, this is mad. I don't know, man. Because Martial ain't fit, right? Is he fit or not? I thought I saw him warming up today. Is Martial fit or what? Wout Weghorst is starting games. Wout Weghorst is starting games for you, and you don't want Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm shocked at this, you know. So, in closing on this topic, what are we saying, guys? Press 1 if you think Ten Hag handled the Ronaldo situation correctly. Press 2 if you think he handled it incorrectly. I think Ronaldo threw his toys out of the pram. And Ten Hag had to get rid of him after that interview. I agree with you on that. All I'm saying is this. You got to look at it from Ronaldo's perspective. He scored 24 goals in all competitions this season before. He's then told that he's surplus to requirements for Anthony Martial, who's never really proven himself as a consistent goal scorer for Manchester United. Anthony Martial has shown that he's good in spots, hasn't he? But has Anthony Martial ever shown that he can be a consistent 20-goal a season goal scorer? Cristiano Ronaldo showed you the season before. 18 Premier League goals, 24 in all competitions. Cristiano Ronaldo showed you that even at the age of 37, 36, if you give him service, he can still score goals for you on a consistent basis and he can still be fit and turn up and do a job. But you tell him he's surplus to requirements for Anthony Martial, and then you're playing rejects from Burnley up front as your number 9 in a game against Arsenal, and you wonder why you're getting played off the fucking park, yeah? Is that where we are at this football club? Okay. Brum Up Your Mum says, can't just believe. I think Weghorst needs time. He might turn out to be decent, but if you're talking about pedigree here, there's something not added up. If you're talking about pedigree, they're telling me Ronaldo's not good enough to get a game from Man United, but Weghorst is. I don't know, Question marks have to be asked. Shall I give you my personal opinion on this situation? And then we'll move on. I think that Erik Ten Hag went overkill on Cristiano Ronaldo to send a message to the players about who was the boss. Press 1 if you agree with me on that, and press 2 if you disagree with me. I think Erik Ten Hag, and I know for a fact Roy Keane agrees with me because Roy Keane said exactly the same thing on Sky Sports. I think Erik Ten Hag used Cristiano Ronaldo to show the other players that he made an example of him. I think every time Ronaldo looked at him wrong, benched him, castigated him, and I think he used him as an example to try and gain authority over the squad. Does that make sense? I don't think everything that happened with Cristiano Ronaldo was just for football reasons. I think a lot of it was Erik Ten Hag. Cristiano Ronaldo was the captain. Wasn't he the captain last season of Manchester United? Or Erik Ten Hag certainly. But Cristiano Ronaldo was the most vocal player in the dressing room, wasn't he? He was the most vocal player. He was the dressing room leader, wasn't he? Ronaldo was the dressing room leader. Ronaldo was the one who had the opinions about the state of the infrastructure at Manchester United. Ronaldo was the one who had the opinions on the kind of football they were playing and what needed to change at the club, wasn't he? Ronaldo was big on the standards, didn't he? Ronaldo was very big on standards returning to how they were after Alex Ferguson left, wasn't he? Because he believed that Man United had dropped standards. So he was quite vocal, wasn't he? Ronaldo was quite vocal. Do you think that... I think that Erik Ten Hag possibly saw Ronaldo as a possible threat. In terms of, this is a guy who's got, a lot of credibility. He's very vocal. Maybe he can, turn a few... If he doesn't like the way I play, doesn't like the way I do things, turn things against me. And I think that's what happened. I think Erik Ten Hag went overkill on Ronaldo to try and prove a point. That's just my humble opinion. And again, Ronaldo didn't handle it correctly at all. Some of the things that he was doing, listen, did he throw a temper tantrum? Absolutely. Let's move on. Sorry, I've been rambling on. He ruined the team spirit and ruined the play on the pitch. He was big in standards until they were applied. Well, I agree with the team spirit thing. I agree with the team spirit thing. But can I ask you guys a question? Genuinely, it's not hating Manchester United. Can I ask you guys a fair question? You're talking about a football player who scored 400 goals in something like 400 games for Real Madrid. Right? Talking about a guy who has a 1-in-1 or 1-to-1 goal record for Real Madrid, right? And you brought him back to your club. What do you think is going to happen with that? You should have known when you signed him, right? If things aren't up to scratch, he's going to get vocal. Do you not think that's fair? Do you not think United should have known what they were getting into? Do you not think United should have known what they were getting into when they signed? Or did you just sign him to sell shirts? Is that what he was signed for? Did you just bring him back to sign shirts? What did you expect, right? You knew he was going to be vocal in the dressing room. You knew he was going to be a dressing room leader. He scored 400 goals in 400 games for Real Madrid. Let's move on from the Ten Hag thing, from the Ten Hag and Ronaldo thing. I don't think it was great, but let's have a look. So right, let's move on from that. So in closing, guys, hold on. You're telling me that you're happy with the way that Erik Ten Hag has handled the Ronaldo situation. And are you 100% sure, I'm just saying in closing before we move on to the next topic, are you 100% sure that in today's game against Arsenal and in that game against Crystal Palace where you need to kill the game off, could you have done with the Ronaldo in those two games? Crystal Palace, you're struggling to kill off games at fucking Selhurst Park. With Wout Weghorst as your target man. Are you 100% sure? Given that Anthony Martial has shown yet again this season that he can't stay fit. Are you 100% sure that it was the right decision to ostracize him in the way you've ostracized him? Do you think it was right to prioritise Martial over Ronaldo? Given what let me ask you something. Has Anthony Martial this season, right, justified Erik Ten Hag picking him over Cristiano Ronaldo? Can you, one of you Man United fans, tell me, this season as a whole, has Anthony Martial justified being picked over Cristiano Ronaldo? Has he justified it? For this season. So far this season, if you're a Manchester United fan, would you say, do you know what? Yeah, I can see why Ten Hag got rid of or told Ronaldo that he was going to have to fight for his place with Martial. I can see why now. That gamble paid off. Genuinely, I'm asking you. You watch it more than I do. I'm asking you. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? Erik Ten Hag, Martial and Ronaldo. Do you think so far Ten Hag got it right with Martial over Ronaldo? Given the output that you've had from Martial this season. Was it worth it? Let me read through your comments. Tis says bringing him back was a mistake. It was a Woodward move. Stiff Tackle says we signed him to stop him going to Man City. Who knows? The rumours are, we don't know if it's true, but they say that Sir Alex Ferguson himself got in contact with Cristiano Ronaldo to try and stop him from going to City. Apparently. Should have let him go. Don't you think you should have let him go to City? Do you not think he would have been a lot better being managed by Pep Guardiola? Can I ask you guys a question quickly? If Ronaldo had have gone to Manchester City, who do you think would have handled him better? Do you think Pep Guardiola would have done a bit of a better job of managing him than Erik Ten Hag did? Just asking. Pep Guardiola has managed some real world-class players. Can somebody tell me, which world-level, elite-level players has Erik Ten Hag ever managed before? Pep Guardiola, we had a falling out with Zlatan Ibrahimovic at Barcelona. That was his high-profile falling out, right? Right? So, Pep Guardiola had that famous falling out with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But for the most part, Pep Guardiola has managed world-class players over and over again, right? So I'm just asking you. Do you think Pep would have done a better job? Do you think if Ronaldo had signed for Manchester City, do you think Pep Guardiola would have turned around and said, I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't think of an injury-prone example for United. I'm trying to think of a young striker for United, but one who's injury-prone. But do you think the same situation will happen? Or do you think Pep Guardiola, he's been there before, he's managed elite players. Yeah, he was an elite coach under Pep, but he weren't the manager. He weren't the guy. The results weren't on his head. Has he actually managed an elite level player other than Ronaldo? He hasn't, has he? I don't know. Let me see that. Tis says Ronaldo would have been poisoned in that dressing room. Do you reckon? Do you think so? City have standards, though. City do have standards. They've got a functional training ground as well that don't look like it comes out of the 1980s as well. Blue Collar Sports says if he did cross Pep, that was it. 100%. There's no question. I'm no fan of Pep Guardiola, by the way. I am no fan of Pep Guardiola at all. What do you think? If City had signed Ronaldo, would they have signed Haaland? I fucking hope so. Haaland is different. Haaland comes to Manchester City and you told Ronaldo, look, you're fighting for your place against Haaland. But Anthony Martial is a different story. Adrian Remedy says Ronaldo wouldn't fit at City because he can't press. Were they really interested in signing him or winding up United? Can't see him as a part of City's transfer strategy. Why does he need to? Does he have to press? Yeah. Can't. He wouldn't fit in. Oh, I see. City. Sorry, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, I understand. Sorry, City. All right. Sorry, my bad. Okay. I thought you meant United. Sorry. Yeah, does Haaland press? Yeah. Mind you, I did see Haaland press the other day. I did watch City and I watched the second half of City and Spurs. Those bottle job Spurs. I did watch City and Spurs. Guys, we've gone for an hour so far. It's 10 to 11. I'm going to leave it up to you. Do you want to finish or do you want to carry on for a bit? I'm happy to carry on, but we don't normally talk football. But do you want to call it a day or do you want to carry on? Let me know what you want to do. If you want to carry on, we can talk about the Barcelona game coming up. We can talk about Arsenal. We can talk about Premier League. We can talk about things. I don't really know, but you guys can tell me. But it's up to you. Tell me what you guys want to do. We don't often do this, but I'm thinking of covering that Barcelona game live. That's why I'm doing this. I'm thinking of covering that Barcelona game live on the 16th. I think that's a massive game, you know. Massive game. Manchester United versus Barcelona. That's a huge game for me. For me, I've always said for me, you know, I've been watching United with a very, very keen eye. Very, very, very keen eye. And that game always stuck out to me. That Barcelona game was just the game where we can really see what is this Ten Hag ball that we're talking about. You know, what is this 10? Because you're going to be up against it in the new camp. You're really going to be up against it. And I want to see the substitutions he makes. I want to see how he lays out the squad. I want to see all sorts of things. So if you want to carry on, guys, we can preview the Barcelona game. We can talk about some other stuff. It's up to you. If you want to call it a day, let me know and we'll call it a day. Someone talked about Spurs. I'll just say bottom flop Spurs. I just thought that performance. I heard Spurs were 2-0 up against Man City, right? And I immediately turned on the second half because I knew Spurs were going to lose that game. I'm looking at my phone checking the score and I see Spurs went 2-0 up and I knew they was going to lose the game. And literally within fucking 2 minutes of that first half, I think it was Julian Alvarez or was it Mahrez? They couldn't even hold City off for 2 minutes. Big problems at that club. I can't talk about Antonio Conte as a manager because I don't really follow him. I haven't really followed him or his managerial career like that. I remember as a player, he was a world-class player. I mean, Conte was a world-class footballer. He played for one of the greatest club sides in history. The great Juventus side that went to 3 consecutive Champions League finals. I mean, they are a fantastic team. So Conte world-class, but Spurs to me, I will say for you Spurs fans, I did look at some of that documentary, and I have to say, I thought the way that Spurs made themselves look in that Mourinho documentary. What do you guys think? I thought they looked like a clown show. Would you agree on that? Who do you think's the bigger clown show, United or Spurs? United have a reputation for being run really badly. But I have to be honest, I think what I saw from Spurs in that documentary, that Amazon documentary, was shocking. Yeah, I saw fucking this Muppet, Daniel Levy, and he's talking to fucking Danny. Who's the footballer who Jose wanted out? Danny, what's his name? Blue Collar Sports, what was his name? Danny, oh God, come on. Danny what? The wing back. The wing back. And fucking Dan Levy's it. That's it. Danny Rose. Jesus fucking Christ. And fucking Danny Levy's in the club bar talking fucking transfer deals with Danny Rose at the bar and telling him he's going to let him go and he's going to try and find him a deal, and just the whole thing was laughable. I think Spurs look like a complete clown show in that fucking thing. And they are a clown show because they sacked Jose Mourinho on the verge of actually winning some silverware, so they didn't have to pay him off. And then look what happened. And they are a true clown show. They are an absolute clown show. They are a clown show. A complete bottle job team, but they're in a position that, not the same position as Man United, but they are in a similar position to Man United, aren't they? Where it's getting past the point where you can blame the manager, can't they? Do you not think so? Do you not think Spurs and Man United are kind of almost like, they're at the point now where they've got no choice? That's why, I'll be honest with you, that's why I believe that Man United fans back Erik Ten Hag. I believe that Man United fans back Erik Ten Hag because they've got no choice. They've got no choice. I don't believe it's because they really believe in Erik Ten Hag. I believe if you look at Man United's results, the results, if you look at the Premier League table, say that nothing big has changed. So far. That's the bottom line. I know it's early days, but I'm just telling you now, right? And it's so funny how when it was for Ten Hag, it was give him time. When it was Jose Mourinho, it was win now. When it was Luis van Gaal, it was win now. It's funny how United fans have changed. It hasn't it been that? But when Jose was in, it was never give Jose time. It was win now. And then when Jose won, it was winning's not good enough. It's all about the United way. Press 1 if I'm right, press 2 if I'm wrong. True or false? With Jose Mourinho, there was no give him time. It was win now. And then when Jose won, it was you must win using the United way. And you handed Jose out of the club. You handed Jose out of the club. You handed Luis van Gaal out of the club. And now it's Ten Hag or bust, isn't it? Really, isn't it? Because how many more managers can you throw out? How many more managers can you get rid of? Can't really, can you? You've got rid of Ronaldo, you've got rid of Pogba, you've got rid of Jose, you've got rid of Van Gaal, you've got rid of all your scapegoats. All your scapegoats have gone. So I feel like you've got no choice to back Ten Hag. That's how I feel. Because if you look at the results say that there's not much difference. You still don't look like a team that's capable of winning the Premier League over 38 games. I mean, the fact that you got beat by City 6-0 and 6-3 in the manner you did kind of tells us that. What do you think? Think too harsh or not too harsh? I'm not saying you're not a better team than Spurs. You're clearly a better team than Spurs. I'm not saying Man United are not a better team than Spurs. I'm saying the similarities is both of these teams have done a lot of chopping and changing when it comes to managers, haven't they? Both Spurs and Man United have spent a lot of money. And they've chopped and changed a lot of managers. And they've been a lot of scapegoats, haven't they? That's a fair comment. There's been a lot of scapegoats at these clubs, haven't they? For why they haven't been performing. When some would argue, maybe the players aren't good enough, blah, blah, blah. But you've chosen to scapegoat, Nuno and Mourinho and all these people. But you've churned through so many of these scapegoats that now you're at the point where do you have any choice but to back these guys? That's what I feel about it. Stiff Tackle says Ten Hag is a better manager than Arteta. Well, to me, Stiff Tackle, you've contradicted yourself. Because on one half, you're saying that when the results don't suit Ten Hag, you're saying I can't judge Ten Hag because it's too early. So on one half, you're saying that when the results aren't good enough, I can't use those results to judge Ten Hag because it's too early. But at the same time, you're now saying the results say that Ten Hag is a better manager than Arteta. Doesn't make no sense. Are we judging Ten Hag or not? Or are we giving him time? If we're judging Ten Hag on his results right now, I would say I don't see it. You're not playing good football. Do you believe? Okay, let's see. Do you saying Ten Hag's a better manager than Arteta? We'll see. You don't play good football. Do you guys? I don't know. I'm shocked at it. Give it time. Yes, I don't understand it, LD Phoenix. It seems to be a big contradiction, doesn't it? Here, and I'm not getting angry. I'm just having a genuine chat with Man United fans. Genuinely angry. One half they're saying, I show you the league table, right? And I say, these results are no better than the results that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had you. Right? Looking at the league table, these results are no better than the results that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got you. Right? These results are no better than the results. They're certainly not better than the results that Jose Mourinho got you. Because he actually won things, right? You're telling me, Ultra, give him time. You're telling me, Ultra, give him time. That's fine, we'll give him time. But then the same half is saying, in that time, he's proven that he's better than Arteta. He hasn't. You're not playing good football. Brian Burke, do you think you're playing good football? Genuinely, Brian Burke, I'm asking you. Just in general, you watch Man United week in, week out. Do Man United play good football? Mate, I'll watch them again. I'll watch them in their next game. Who's your next game against? I'll watch you against Barcelona. Jesus fucking Christ. See if you play good football in that game. Who's your next game against? Let's see. Who we got? Look, you got fucking, Nottingham Forest. Away in the fucking Carabao Cup. Nottingham Forest. I'm not watching that. No, I agree. Arteta's been in the project for 3 years. I'm just saying. Somebody else said Ten Hag's better than Arteta. That's down to them. I didn't say that. So which game do I watch then? Brian Burke. Crystal Palace, yeah? On the 4th of Feb. I'll watch that one then. You've got Crystal Palace at home. That should be 3 points for Man United. So we'll watch the Crystal Palace game. And we'll look for some quality football. Yeah? I'm not looking to see any Christian Eriksen longboarding over the top to Marcus Rashford / counter-attack football. I'm looking to see good possession football with some good build-up. Yeah? And we'll see. Alright, we'll watch it. Man like Ryan is saying United playing better football under Ten Hag than United did under Ole. Well, Jesus Christ. Weren't you not saying give Ole a contract? Be honest with yourselves. Before we move on to the Barcelona game, be honest with yourselves. Don't lie. When Manchester United came back and beat Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, how many of you wanted Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to stay on as Manchester United manager? Press 1 right now. Don't lie. When Manchester United beat PSG in the Champions League and came from behind and beat PSG, how many of you wanted Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to sign a full-time contract to be the Manchester United manager? And how many of you said that Manchester United was back? And how many of you said that Manchester United were playing the Manchester United way under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Wasn't that your justification for getting rid of Mourinho? Wasn't your justification that Ole wasn't winning as much as Mourinho, but Ole was playing and doing things in the Manchester United way? Because he was very closely tied to Sir Alex Ferguson. Isn't that what you guys were saying at the time? Flynn says, how can you say we aren't doing any better when last season we only finished with 58 points? Don't think you can fault Ten Hag with the squad as weak as it is. My bad. I was comparing to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's best season when you finished in second place. My bad. Because there was a comment that stuck with me, and somebody said Man United are playing better now than they have any time in 10 years or so. Ten Hag's been the best manager United have had in 10 years. And that's where that comment came from. But then again, you just spent 200 million in a fucking window. Do you guys do realise you did spend 200 million in a window, right? I'm just letting you guys do realise that you spent 200 million pounds in a single window, right? I'm just letting you guys know that, yeah? So, just saying, you spent 200 million pounds in the summer. 200 million you spent. Sometimes the way you guys are going on, acting like you're on a fucking shoestring budget and shit. Let's have a look. And Arsenal fans are out of order. All them Arsenal fans wanted Arteta out, by the way. Arsenal fans, you wanted Arteta out. You know you wanted Arteta out. Don't lie. Let's have a look at this squad. Man U fans, before we go on to the Barca game, right? Who are we getting rid of? I'm not going to go through the whole squad. I'm going to go through some names. Right, tell me about this guy. I want to tell you about this guy here. Tell me about Harry Maguire. He's another one of your little scapegoats, isn't he? Harry Maguire. What are we doing with Harry Maguire? Out. Out. Harry Maguire. Why is he a scapegoat though? You guys made him a scapegoat. Why are you guys making him, yeah? Slabhead. Do you watch Flying Pig as well? Why have you made him the scapegoat for all your problems, man? Harry Maguire, man. You blaming this guy for all your problems and shit, man. See, Harry Maguire's out, yeah? Look, I think the fact that... Who got injured at centre-back? I think it was Lisandro Martinez got injured, and then Erik Ten Hag moved Luke Shaw into centre-back rather than play Harry Maguire there. Am I right about that? I mean, if that's the case, then Harry Maguire's finished at Man United, isn't he? Is that right? That Lisandro got injured and Ten Hag moved Luke Shaw into centre-back instead of playing Maguire there. Or something like that. He was playing Luke Shaw at centre-back rather than Harry Maguire. So I think it's fair to say, yeah, that Harry Maguire is surplus to requirements. I mean, what can I say? 80 million. How much did you spend on 80 million? I thought the Glazers don't give you any money. If the Glazers don't give you no money, where did you come up with the 80 million pound for Harry Maguire? If the Glazers ain't spending no money in your football club. Let me know about that in the comment section. So Harry Maguire, he's out. Jadon Sancho. Is he in or out? Jadon Sancho. What are we saying about him? Is he in or is he out? He's in. Sancho, yeah? Is he... The things I've heard about this guy, Sancho. Oh, okay. He's in. Okay. So he's in, yeah? We won't do Mason Greenwood for obvious reasons. Garnacho. So, he's today's scapegoat, isn't he? What are you saying today? The reason why you didn't beat Arsenal is because Garnacho wasn't brought on quicker. What do you guys think about Ten Hag's substitutions today? Just quickly, Man United fans in the Arsenal game. What do you guys think about the substitutions that Erik Ten Hag made? He brought Garnacho on with about 2 minutes to go when the game was already gone, yeah? Do you think Erik Ten Hag really played for them 3 points today? Or did you think that United were under the cosh? Lisandro Martinez, the garden gnome, got a very, very lucky goal at the other end and United tried to shut up shop and get a point? What do you guys think? Or did Man United play the United way? I watched Manchester United in 1999 when they were a treble-winning squad, yeah? And that was the real United way. I mean, if you look back in the day, 1999, Scholes, Giggs, Beckham, York and Cole. Do you know how many late last-minute goals that Manchester United scored in that 99 season? Do you know how many late goals Manchester United scored in that 99 season? They were scoring late goals all over the place. Week in, week out, they were scoring late goals. It wasn't just that final. That they were scoring late goals week in, week out. That was the United way. This fucking shite that I watched today. Garden Gnome got a lucky goal because Ramsdale fucked up. And then United are at the back hanging on for dear life. And you guys are telling me this is the best you've seen United in 10 fucking years. Are you sure about that? Anyway, Garnacho. What are we saying about Garnacho? You keeping him or not? You're saying he's one of the best talents in world football. One of the best young talents in world football. That's what I've heard. Wait, what was that game he came on? Was it the City game? He came on, didn't he, against City and potentially changed the game, didn't he? Started running at people, taking people on, didn't he? Let me see what Richard's saying in the chat here. Surely they need to cut their losses on Sancho. What do you think? How much did Sancho cost, by the way, Richard? Weren't he a bag of money? Can somebody tell me, how much did Jadon Sancho cost? He must have cost 2 million, right? Because the Glazers don't give you guys no money, right? The Glazers don't give you any money. So he only cost 2 million, right? How much did Sancho cost? Let me know. Sancho, the 5th highest wage in the Premier League. I thought the Glazers don't pay any money. Where's that coming from? Let's have a look. Blue Collar Sports saying Garnacho's in. What are we saying about Garnacho? That's one game. Yeah, but you woke up Crystal Palace. You were shit against... Okay, we'll see. City, you were on the back foot most of the game. Crystal Palace, you didn't create many chances against Crystal Palace, and you ain't created many chances against Arsenal. But we'll see. I'll watch you against... I'll watch you at the theatre. I'll watch you at the Theatre of Dreams, yeah, against the fucking who you playing? Crystal Palace again, and we'll see how you get on. Right, so you're telling me Sancho cost 70 to 80 million. 80 million for Sancho, yeah? Where's all this money coming from? Thought you lot were broke. So Sancho's in, yeah? Okay, so you guys are saying Sancho in, all right? Lisandro, you're saying, has been one of the signings of the season. Can I ask you a question about Lisandro Martinez? He has been absolutely outstanding by all accounts. I watched the games I've watched. He's been excellent. He was excellent today for me. I thought Lisandro excellent today. Excellent. Yeah. No, I was going to say something, but actually, no, you can't because, again, was he not up against Haaland? And did he play in a City derby? I watched a City derby. I can't remember. He was up against Haaland, didn't it? So I was going to say, do we need to see Lisandro against Lewandowski just to make sure? Just to seal the deal? But then again, he's been up against Haaland, hasn't he? So maybe Lisandro really is a good... And like I said, Ten Hag insists on him. So, okay. Lisandro's in. Casemiro, I've got my opinions on that. I'll share them on another episode. If he controls, let me tell you something. If he controls the midfield against Barcelona, I'll concede on Casemiro. If he can control the midfield in the new camp, yeah, alongside against Busquets, De Jong, Gavi, and Pedri. If he can do that, if he can go there and Man United can get possession in the new camp, then I will concede on Casemiro. But I need to see him against Barcelona Football Club in the new camp, yeah? Not no Bournemouths, not no Wolves, not Goodison Park. I need to see him control the midfield against the proper team. If I see that, I'll have to concede on that. But he's world class, obviously. But you're saying he's the best CDM in the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're saying he's the best centre midfielder in the world. Anthony Martial. Is he on or out, guys? Sean says Casemiro is the real fucking deal. He's got pedigree, absolutely. Is he the best in the world? United fans saying he's the best centre midfielder in the world. I think you need to go and see Gavi and Pedri week in, week out. Anthony Martial. What do you guys think? In or out on Martial? You got man like Ryan and Balajit saying just saying out. So what are you prioritising him over Ronaldo for then? Out. Does anybody want to keep Anthony Martial here? Sean Medieval saying Martial is done. Stiff Tackle says, why do you expect that United should dominate every top team? No, I didn't say you should dominate every top team. You're not. So far, I haven't seen you play any quality football. By the way, did you give Jose Mourinho any chances, or did you expect to come in and win from day one? And then when he won, did you say you didn't like the football he played, right? Okay. So I'm holding you to your own standard, yeah? I'm holding you to your own standard. Because when Jose came in and actually got you places and won stuff, you didn't like it because you didn't like the football that was being played. So far, the football I've seen you play ain't good. Ain't good football. Ain't quality football. So that's the question I'm asking. So that's the double standard we're pointing out. On one hand, you've given Mourinho and Van Gaal no time. And on the other hand, you're prioritising a manager who's just spent 200 million in the summer and isn't really doing much better and certainly isn't playing amazing football based on what I've seen. But we'll get to that. Let's get back to the point. Martial in or out? Thomas Dunn says keep him as a squad player. So what? So why are people justifying? I'll be watching them I watched the last 3 games. I'll be watching them every single week. Okay, we'll see. We'll see, Stiff Tackle. We'll see. We'll see. We'll watch. I'll keep watching. At the minute, I'm watching them. Because they're playing Barcelona, I've been watching them very carefully, mate. Trust me. I've been tuning in. I'll be watching the games. I'll keep tuning in every week. Every week, if I can. Yeah, I'll keep watching. I'm waiting for this good football. When it comes, you let me know. Starting in a new camp. We'll see how good you are when you play in a new camp. We'll see the quality of football you can play against a good team. Yeah? Not no Bournemouth. Not going on no 9-match win streak versus Bournemouth and fucking Charlton. Real teams, yeah? We'll see. Brian Burke says, Jose didn't bring us places. He should have won us leagues. But what? This is interesting. Jose Mourinho should have won you the league. So with the squad that Jose Mourinho finished second with, when you finished second, when Jose finished second, how many points did he score when you finished second? Am I right in thinking he scored something like 80 points and got you second to Man City? And you're saying Jose's team should have beat City for the league that year. He got you second, yeah? Okay. Let's carry on. Marshall is on 200 a week out ASAP. There you go. 81 points. Jose Mourinho got you 81 points in second place. And you think that's a team that should have won the league that season against City, right? Let's have a quick go through these names. I'm only going to go through the interesting ones. Let me ask you about this guy here. Wan-Bissaka. He was another one of your scapegoats. Don't lie. Am I not lying? Was Aaron Wan-Bissaka not one of your scapegoats? Do you know what? I watched the United stand, you know. Do you know every week on the United stand, they're piling into Aaron Wan-Bissaka. For me, he's been one of your best players of late. What do you guys think about Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Is he in or out? You guys are ruthless. Man like Ryan, out. Wan-Bissaka. Is he not been one of your best players? Was Wan-Bissaka not one of your best players today as well? Every time I've seen him play, he's been excellent. Is Aaron Wan-Bissaka not the reason you got a point against Crystal Palace? Who was 1-on-1 with your goalkeeper in the last minute? Was it Zaha or was it someone else? It wasn't Zaha. Who was it who was 1-on-1 for Crystal Palace in the last minute of the game? He was about to go 1-on-1 with David De Gea and possibly seal the 3 points. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka made a fantastic last minute tackle. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's been excellent for you. Like, can I get his ratings up here? Let me get his sofa score up. Can I get his sofa score up, please? I want to see his sofa score for the last couple of games. Wan-Bissaka. I think he's been excellent for you in the last couple of games. I don't even know how to use this. Richard, can somebody tell me how I can get his sofa score per game? I would love to get his sofa score for the last couple of games. Let's have a look. This is Arsenal versus Manchester United. Hold on. What's his score? Right. These are the sofa score ratings for today's game. Aaron Wan-Bissaka got 6.8. So, same as Varane. So, he's basically a second best defender, according to that. Let me just see how he rated against Crystal Palace quickly, just for my benefit. Crystal Palace, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Let me see the sofa score rating. Sorry, let me increase the size of the page so you guys can see. My apologies, sorry. Let's just see Aaron Wan-Bissaka's sofa score ratings against Crystal Palace. Here we go. Sorry. Lineups. Here we go. Oh, I've completely cocked this up. Sorry. Right. Wout Weghorst. What the fuck is this? Hold on. Oh, it scores on the left-hand side. Sorry. So he got 6.9. Look at his ratings in his last couple of games. He got 6.8 versus Arsenal. He got 6.9 in a game versus Crystal Palace. And he got 7.2 in a game versus Manchester City. He got a 6.6 in a game against Charlton. 6.7 against Bournemouth. And a 7.5. So Wan-Bissaka's been playing quite well for you. Let me read your comments on Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka should be a centre-back. Stiff Tackle says, Wan-Bissaka is a good defender and he's played well recently, but out. You can't play top-level football without technical players. He's poor with the ball. Blue Collar Sports. Aaron Wan-Bissaka can defend, but he's poor on the ball. Oh, yeah, the Glazers. We'll get into that another time. We know how much they've taken and all that. Yeah, I won't upset you anymore with that stuff. Wan-Bissaka. Sean says he's a very good defender, but teams need more than that fullback. Problem is, Diego Dalot isn't the answer either. So you guys are Wan-Bissaka out, right? Okay. Jesus. Wan-Bissaka looks like a player. You see, the job he did today against Martinelli today, 1-on-1. I thought he was excellent. You guys want Wan-Bissaka out? Can I ask you guys a question? Wan-Bissaka is out at right backs. Who are you going to get to replace him in the summer, please? Can I have some names, please? I'd like to see some names. Let me go back to that screen. I've lost where I was. Right. So you want Wan-Bissaka out. Okay. Let's move on. Can I ask you guys a question? What's your view on David De Gea? Just out of interest. He's another one who gets a lot of criticism. He was criticised for conceding the goal against Crystal Palace. Few fans says he hasn't done enough. What's your views on David De Gea? In or out on De Gea? For me, I'll be honest, it's an in, right? It's got to be. And De Gea is world class, surely. Made a good save today from point blank range today in the game. Kept you in the game. What are we saying about David De Gea? In or out? I've heard stories that he's not good playing out from the back, like sweeper keeper type thing. Let me know about that. I'm not too tactical in a minute. I'm just getting back into it. Obviously, I watch Ter Stegen every week at the minute. I'm watching Ter Stegen, and obviously they say he's a very, very good passer of the ball. Very good sweeper keeper type deal. Yeah, Richard. De Gea gone from the GOAT to public enemy number 1. I mean, De Gea for me has kept them in the game today with a point blank save. I think he tipped one onto the against Crystal Palace as well. He tipped one onto the bar against Crystal Palace. I mean, in the games I've seen De Gea, he's been excellent, but I know he's prone to a mistake here. What do you guys think? Sean at Medieval saying De Gea out. Charlie's saying in for De Gea. Man like Ryan says he's the best goal stopper. Stiff Tackle says De Gea is in, but only out of loyalty. When you see how Ramsey passes the ball, you know United can't get to the next level with his passing. Yeah, it was, Ken. He tipped one onto the bar against Palace, didn't he? It was excellent, De Gea. He blocked one today. It was just excellent. Sean Medieval says De Gea's a good shot stopper, bad on the ball with crosses, and makes a lot of errors for goals. I could be wrong. I heard that Ten Hag wasn't that keen on him, or wasn't going to be that keen on him, but gave him a chance because Ten Hag's like someone who can play out the back a bit more, bit of a better passer at the back. Because United struggled playing out the back today, let me tell you. And Arsenal pressed them. It didn't look good. Right, let's carry on. Before we go do the Barcelona game, let's carry on. Right, you'll like this bit now. We're going to involve everybody. I'm enjoying this. I know you guys aren't enjoying this, but I'm actually really enjoying this, to be honest. Even though there's only 47 people on here, a few people are slagging me off. This is normally a boxing channel. Yesterday, we had 300 people here talking about boxing. And earlier on today, we topped out at like, I don't know how many we had talking boxing. At one point, it was close to 150, 200. I can't remember. So, we're not really a football channel, but I will be talking football every now and again. I really enjoy this, so thanks for being part of the chat. We're going to stay on for a little bit longer. I want you to do the next thing. I want you to tell me this now. We're going to involve everybody, including Man United fans. I want you to tell me the following. Who's your team? Where you think you can finish in the table? So who's your team? And where you think you can finish in the table? Or where should you be finishing in that table? Does that make sense? Who's your team? Where should you be finishing in the table? And I want you to tell me what moves you're looking to make in the summer and which players that you want your club to bring. Tell me, educate me, help me understand. Who are you looking to bring? And I don't want delusional shit. Man United fans talking about Mbappe. Stop that shit. I've seen you Man United fans on United stand talking about let's go and spend 200 million on Mbappe. Please stop it. I want realistic stuff. You man are starting with target men from Burnley up front. So at this point, yeah, we can't be talking about Kylian Mbappe. Man like Ryan, I said realistic stuff. Harry Kane in the summer. From where? Where are the funds coming from for Harry Kane? Man like Ryan. You've got Wout Weghorst at the minute. Let's keep our feet on the ground, shall we? For Man United, what should we start looking in Division 1? Where should we start looking? Should we start looking in the fucking D1? Let me know. Come on, Man U fans. You could be better than this. Give me some realistic names. Don't give me Mbappe. Neymar. I heard that in the summer. Can you get Neymar? Jesus Christ. Neymar, Lewandowski, and thing. Right, Man like Ryan says, new owners, wake up, bro. Can see you're not a United. Oh, so you think you're going to be getting... So you believe your new owners will be coming in by the summer in time for you to sign Harry Kane, yeah? Interesting. Harry Kane. Can I ask you a question, Richard and Blue Collar Sports? Because I know you two are quite reasonable. If Harry Kane was allowed to leave Spurs and Manchester City, well, they've signed Haaland now, so that's over. Okay, because you know he wanted to join City, didn't he? He was dead set on joining City. I think everything was done. Like he wanted City, right? But they wouldn't let him go. Does he want to join United, Kane? Is there any Where is this Kane shit coming from? This Harry Kane to Man United. Where is this shit coming from? Is this pie in the sky shit, or is there actually any fucking substance to this? Man like Ryan thinks that the new owners are going to be in charge. I suppose we're talking Saudis, right? Not Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Is that are we talking man like Ryan? Yeah. Are we talking some multi-trillionaire Saudis are going to come in, and they're going to start spending money on Mbappe and Kane? Yeah. By the summertime, yeah? It's definitely going to be Sir Jim Rashford, right? Because from what I've heard, he ain't really got the funds for them kind of deals, right? He's got money, but... Actually, didn't they say that he would struggle to come up with the funds to revamp the stadium or something? Like, last time I heard that, United fans weren't too keen on Sir Jim Ratcliffe, right? Because they're questioning whether he has the money to do the full job over. Because to do the squad is one thing, but you guys are complaining about having leaks in the stadium, aren't you? Oh, every time I go on Twitter, I see like Man United stadium, and there's pictures of their roof leaking, and you guys are complaining about how the stadium needs renovating, saying it's cost 100 million. What club is that for, Tiz? Declan Rice. What club is that for? For United? What club is that for? Snazzy Azzy says West Ham United, Harry Maguire. Well, let me tell you, your dream may be coming true soon. Because I tell you one thing, it looks like his time at United is coming to an end, I have to say. Richard says, I'm sure Kane would go for a career high payday. Whoever goes in for Kane will have to pay over the odds versus his potential at his age, etc., etc. I listen to a couple of United fan channels, right? And somebody asked the question, if Spurs offered you, if Spurs said you can have Harry Kane for 50 million and Marcus Rashford, would you do the deal? And most people in the chat overwhelmingly said, no, we would never, ever do that deal. Can I ask you that question, Man United fans? Spurs came to you and said, we will offer you, you can have Harry Kane for 50 million and Marcus Rashford. Would you consider doing that deal or not? I'm not saying this right or wrong. I'm just asking because I had the same question asked the other day on another popular channel. And the responses were quite interesting. You can have Harry Kane for Marcus Rashford and £50 million. Would you sign Harry Kane for that? You can have him tomorrow in your squad as your number 9. No more Wout Weghorst. Would you do it? Blue Collar Sports says no way. No way. Hell no. No, no, no. Can I ask you guys a question? I know Marcus Rashford's going through one of the best periods of his career. He genuinely looks world class at the minute. His goal today was outstanding, right? But is Marcus Rashford a 20 goal a season player? Is Marcus Rashford a 20 goal a season player? Yes. Sean from Medieval says yes. You believe Rashford's a 20 goal a season player? Really? 20 goals a season. Rashford. Man like Ryan says, yeah, if he has right players around him. Flynn says, absolutely not. That's absolutely not. That's valuing Rashford at like 40 mil. Yeah, no, 20 league goals is what I mean. Not 20 in all comps. 20 league goals a season. Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you another question about Marcus Rashford. If you had to win the Premiership in the next 2 or 3 years, right? Okay? So let's say, look, this is where we are right now, 2022, 2023. Right? Let's make it. Let's say you have to win the Premier League in the next 2 years. So you've got, let's pretend you've got a 2-year window, right? To win the Premier League. And if you don't win the Premier League in 2 years, then your rich Saudi owners will sell up and the Chuckle Brothers will be the new owners of Man United, yeah? You have a 2-year window to win a title. Who do you have as your primary forward in that 2-year window when you have to win a title? Rashford or Kane? 2-3 year window. I'll tell you what, I'll extend to 3. You've got a 2-3 year window to win a Premier League title. And you have to lead the line with one of Rashford or Kane. Who do you lead the line with? You have to win. You have to win titles. What I'm trying to get away from is, I know Rashford has a lot of potential to be potentially good. How long are we waiting for Rashford to hit his potential? That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. We know Rashford has potential, but how long are you waiting for this potential to turn up? How many years? 3, 4, 5? When's Rashford going to be... Because the point I'm trying to make is this, right? If you were to sign Harry Kane, I'm not saying it's a good deal or a bad deal. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. If you were to sign Harry Kane, you would have a bona fide 20, 25, 30 goal a season scorer. Bang on the money. When was the last time United signed a number 9 who was a guaranteed like 30, 35 goal a season player? Like, you didn't have to worry about where the goals was coming from. 30 guaranteed. Like, do you remember when you signed Ruud van Nistelrooy from PSV? Ruud van Nistelrooy scored in his debut in the Charity Shield. Exactly. Sean at Medieval. There you go. Do you remember when you signed Ruud van Nistelrooy? I remember when you signed Ruud van Nistelrooy. He scored in his debut in the Charity Shield and he never stopped scoring. Never stopped. Teddy Sheringham was never a 25, 30 goal a season player at Man United. He was a good player though. Van Nistelrooy was just unbelievable, wasn't he? I mean, he was just... You never had to worry about goals, did you? You knew. The service was there. You knew. And he was out the box. Van Nistelrooy, you got what you paid for, didn't you? You were getting out the box world class. Obviously, there was a bit of doubt because he's coming from the Dutch league, yeah? But there's plenty of players from history have come from playing in the Dutch league and gone and scored goals in, from Romario to Ronaldo to all types of, from Suarez, all types of strikers, haven't they? They've scored a bag full of goals in the Dutch league and then they've gone into Europe and done the same thing. So what point I'm trying to say is, Kane, you get that, you've got 30 goals a season out the box, haven't you? Do you not think there's a bit of value in that? There's no worrying about potential. There's no worrying about ifs. There's no worrying about buts. There's no worrying about if he is and if he stays injury free and in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years and he could be this or he couldn't be this. What are you? Are you a win now team or not a win now team? Win now meaning next 2 or 3 years. What are we doing here? What do you think? If you were to sign Harry Kane, right? Let me ask you another question. If you were to sign Harry Kane, if you were to swap Harry Kane for Marcus Rashford right now, do you think that would improve you do you think you would get better results or worse results? So do you think you go up in the table or worse in the table? Harry Kane for Marcus Rashford, if you swap them over right now, how do you feel? I'm just asking you, I could be wrong. Harry Kane for Marcus Rashford right now today. You're currently 11 points off the title. But really, we think City are going to win it, don't we? So you could be as much as 6 points off the title. If you think Arsenal are going to bottle job it like everybody else does, right? And you say Man City is really, who you need to be looking at, right? Most people think City are going to win the league, right? So if you say Arsenal are going through some hot form, but they're going to come back down to earth, and you say, well, look, City's the team that we really need to stay close to. Technically, then, you're 6 points out of a title race. You get Harry Kane tomorrow as your number 9. Very good point. Who's feeding Kane? Rashford. Is Rashford really getting out to the byline a lot and whipping in crosses? You do seem a bit Rashford-centric at the minute. But I mean, if you surround Rashford, if you surround Kane, and who's going to supply him? Anthony, he's garbage. Bruno Fernandes can play. Christian Eriksen. Sean at Medieval says the players feeling Kane at United would be better than the ones at Spurs. What do you guys think? Sean at Medieval thinks you'd be better. Man like Ryan, you think you'd be worse off this season? You think you do worse off in the league swapping Kane for Rashford? That's interesting. Brian Burke says Kane would still have the graveyard shift. Interesting. Balaj says nearly 30 with bad ankles and already peaked. So what are you guys saying? When you guys saying you want Kane for next season, that has to be alongside Rashford, yeah? So who's going then? You're getting rid of Martial, yeah? And it has to be Kane and Rashford. Anthony, Kane and Rashford, yeah? That's what you guys want next season. Snazzy Azzy says Kane will do well in the team that just lets him goal hang, similar to City where he doesn't have to track back. Somebody mentioned Newcastle. How much have Newcastle, by the way, spent this year? Yeah, I know Rashford's not a number 9. You haven't really got a number 9 other than Weghorst, have you? So, but I was asking, he's your most valuable piece, and I was asking if you'd be willing to get rid of him for Kane. Blue Collar Sports says I would take Kane if we also purchased a young striker as a backup, such as Sesko. I haven't seen him. I know he's from Leipzig, and you were linked to him with them in the summer. Okay, so in closing, Newcastle. Someone said they support Newcastle. How much have Newcastle spent this summer? Could someone tell me how much they spent? I don't think they spent much money at all, have they? And they're in 3rd place. How much did Newcastle spend in the summer window? Can someone tell me? I'll Google it myself in a sec. Oh, they spent 200 million this season. Did they spend 200 million? I thought United spent the most in the whole window. Let me check that. Did they spend 200 million? I thought United spent the most out of everybody this summer. This season, I thought United spent the most. Didn't know that. I thought Newcastle were kind of reeling it in a bit on the spending. And they weren't going do laddie yet. Yeah, since the takeover, yeah. But I'm talking about this season. Blue Collar Sports says Eddie Howe has made smart signings, to be fair. Isaac and Boatman were a large chunk. Chelsea, obviously, we have spent well. From what I've heard, they spent very well. They've got bucketfuls of money, but apparently they haven't been going OTT. 3rd place for Newcastle. Level with Manchester United. Where are we thinking Newcastle finish quickly? Where are we thinking Newcastle finish? Just very quickly. I'm just trying to figure out how do you think the Premier League table is going to end up? Sean is saying he wants 5th and 6th. Richard's saying Newcastle beat big on Isaac. So, man like Ryan, you're saying Newcastle going to get 4th. 4th. You guys are saying you think Newcastle are 4th. So, where are United coming in this season? So, you've got Newcastle 4th. Where are United coming in? Third. You've got United 3rd. Stiff Tackle's got Newcastle 3rd to 5th, depending on injuries. Hey, Stiff Tackle, just got to ask you something. Just out of interest. Feel free to have a go at me if you want. But yo, Stiff Tackle, if Erik Ten Hag's got Man United playing some of the best stuff they've played, or has got Man United going in the best they've ever been in 10 years, how come Newcastle United are above you in the table? And how come you're projecting Newcastle to finish basically above you in the table? Because you've got them finishing anywhere from 3rd to 5th. Just out of interest. Let me just throw that at you there, Stiff Tackle. I don't know if it was you who said about Ten Hag in the last 10 years. It might have been someone else. Just out of interest. Am I being a bit of an arse there? I'm on this Ten Hag thing, you know. I've got my eye on this guy, you know. United are 3rd. Okay. I assume you all have City at P1, yeah? You've all got City winning the league, yeah? Blue Collar Sports says, I have a feeling Liverpool may go on a run and sneak into fourth. Jesus, Liverpool have got a game in hand on United and they're 10 points down. It's possible. It's possible. But United have played... One thing about United is they've played some good teams already, haven't they? You've played City home and away. You've played Arsenal home and away. So you've already played the top two home and away. United have played some good... Look, yeah, United played all the top 10 in the first 11 games and have played City and Arsenal. Yeah, exactly what I just said. So you've already got City and Arsenal twice out that way. Man like Ryan thinks it's going to finish... You think Arsenal's going to win the league? Arsenal, City, United, Newcastle. So you think United will get in the Champions League this season? Yeah, they'll have an easier run than Newcastle. Snazzy Yazzie thinks... You think Arsenal going to win the league? Shit. Thinks Arsenal win the league. City in second. United third. Newcastle fourth. Jesus. I thought all you lot would go for City. Sean thinks Arsenal going to win it too. Wow. I hope they do. I really do. I'd love to see it, but... We'll see how they do with that game in hand. Let me just quickly see their schedule. Where's their next game in hand? They've got Man City in the FA Cup. Everton away. Does anybody know which of these games is their game in hand on City? Brentford. Oh, Jesus. There you go. That's the game, isn't it, there? That's the game. And that game's in, what, 3 weeks? That's the game, isn't it? Arsenal versus City. That's the game, innit? Would you say if Arsenal win that game against City, would you say that's the title at that point? Never know with City, but you would say at that point, then it's Arsenal's to lose. I think if City win that game, I don't think Arsenal will win it if City beat them. LD Phoenix, is Arsenal going to win it? Let's have a look. Everton is their game in hand. So it's that. So Man Like Ryan's that game on the 4th of Feb on Saturday, yeah? Okay. Stiff Tackle says, unless Saka and Odegaard go down, Arsenal have enough of a buffer. Richard says, Liverpool still lacking a bit of something for me. Gakpo, a potentially great signing for them. Actually, I haven't seen that. You know, before we go, United fans, how do you feel about not getting Cody Gakpo? Just before we go, because we've got this chat's mainly United fans. And I don't mind that, United fans, because we're going to cover the Barcelona game anyway. Hopefully, if I still have a channel on the 16th. So we love to see that. But how do you feel about the whole Gakpo thing? Looked like he wanted to go to United and then you didn't get him and then Liverpool jumped in. I haven't seen him for Liverpool yet. I will make an effort in my diary to try and watch something. How's Gakpo been doing? Has he played for Liverpool yet? I have not watched Liverpool. I have to be honest with you. I have not watched them. I've watched Man United. I watched a bit of Man City. And I've been trying to watch Barca steadily every week. Cup, League, Europe, everything. I'm trying to watch Barca at the minute every week. That's the team that I'm kind of focusing on in the minute. Is Barcelona. But if you've got any views on Gakpo, how he's doing, let me know how he's doing at Liverpool. I know United was supposed to get him. That was a Ten Hag target and they missed out on him. Tiz says Rashford is holding the left so far, so Gakpo is no big loss. And Darwin Núñez, they stole him off you as well. Wasn't Darwin Núñez another Ten Hag target? I think Liverpool beat you to 2, didn't they? I think Darwin Núñez was a Ten Hag target, wasn't he? And they beat you to Darwin Núñez and then they beat you to Cody Gakpo. But we'll have to wait and see what's happening. We'll wait and see. All right, we'll wrap up in just a sec then. So we've had a discussion. So let's close it up. Let's do our closing arguments, right? Let's do our closing arguments. I appreciate you guys being here today. I actually had as many as 50 people in there. I'm surprised actually we even did that, to be honest. Are you guys thinking, because I'm going to remember this, Erik Ten Hag as manager. This is what we've looked at so far, okay? We've looked at the following with Erik Ten Hag as manager, okay? Let me get his bold mug on the screen, because that's what we're talking about. Erik Ten Hag. The results, I don't think the results suggest that there's, you know, Stiff Tackle has said you have played a large number of the top 10 already. So fair enough. I'll give you that. I'm not convinced that the results in the Premier League table show that there's been a massive improvement, but the weight's out on that. You're telling me on the results, you're telling me ultra wait and see on the results. You need to give Ten Hag time. On the Ronaldo situation, we're going to agree to disagree, aren't we? Aren't we? You guys, the majority of you guys think that Ten Hag handled the Cristiano Ronaldo situation correctly. Am I right in that, yeah? You guys think that on the whole, Ten Hag handled the Ronaldo situation correctly. And that Ronaldo, I'm talking about before the interview. We know when Ronaldo did the interview, he had to go, he fucked it, right? But I'm talking about the way Ronaldo was getting benched and the way Ronaldo was, not being played and not really given a chance. In my opinion, it didn't look like he was being given a chance to establish himself as the lead striker, okay? Do you think Ten Hag handled that correctly? You said yes. I've asked you about the style of play in a minute. Style of play, it doesn't look to be... It certainly, to me, doesn't look like the Manchester United of old. You talk about the Manchester United way, doesn't look anything like the United sides that I saw play under Sir Alex Ferguson, which was the peak of Manchester United. And I'm talking about even the United sides that, I'm talking about towards the end of Ferguson. The United teams that went and got to the Champions League final and played Barcelona and stuff. The ones with the Rooneys and you had Rooney up front. You got to the Champions League final and you lost to Barcelona. You look nothing. You were playing with Tevez and fucking... You had Rooney and Tevez and fucking... You just look nowhere near that team to me. You look nowhere near that kind of team at the minute. At the minute, to me, you look like a counter-attack team. All right? But you're telling me, even though the football... No, Brian Burke's telling me I need to watch against some lower level teams, right? That's what he's telling me. So we need to... The jury's out on the football. I need to watch Man United at home against a non-top team and then probably judge them. That's what you guys are saying. I'm just trying to figure out where we are at here with Erik Ten Hag. So in closing, tell me, at what point do we start holding Erik Ten Hag accountable for what's happened this season? Just tell me that before we go. What is the barometer for Ten Hag this season? What is your red line for Ten Hag? What are we saying? Right, if Ten Hag hasn't done this, this and this, we're going to start holding him accountable. Let me know about that. That's what I want to hear from United fans. I want to hear your criteria. What are we saying from Ten Hag? Tiff Tackle says, you don't understand how bad we were last year. Yeah, but under previous managers, you've won trophies. Under previous managers, you've come second in the league. Last year was last year. You had a bad year last year. Liverpool are having a bad year this year. But in the past, under other managers, you've come second and won trophies. So what I'm trying to understand is, right? Erik Ten Hag, right? I think, in my opinion, he is not being held accountable for things that he's not being held accountable for. I think your transfer window in the summer was a fucking disaster. I think he's waited too long on Frenkie de Jong. And as a result, you've had to overplay. The Casemiro buy was a last-minute panic buy. Would you agree with that? Press 1 if you would agree with me, or press 2 if you disagree. Casemiro was a last-minute panic buy, which a lot of United fans criticised at the time. When Casemiro was bought at the time, you guys saying, oh, it's too old, coming over, it's a panic buy, the border, this and that. When Casemiro signed for Man United, a lot of United fans criticised that move. Now he's playing well, the tune has changed, fair enough, right? But I'm looking at it and saying, you've had a transfer market where he's waited too long for Frenkie de Jong, and as a result, you've had to overplay for players. Because the reason why is you couldn't go after your targets because you didn't know how much money you're going to have to pay to try and get Frenkie de Jong to join Man United. So as a result, you had to wait for Anthony, you had to wait for your other signings, and as a result, you had to pay more than you should have in the transfer market. And nobody held Erik Ten Hag accountable for that. Nobody. I heard Richard Arnold get blamed. I saw John Murta get blamed. I saw the Glazers get blamed. But I never saw Erik Ten Hag get held accountable, even though we all know he was the one who was pushing for the player. And I'm pretty sure that he was the one who was telling Murta and Arnold to wait and wait and wait for de Jong. But he never got held accountable for that, okay? 6-0 down, or sorry, 6-0 down against Man City. He wasn't held accountable for that. Because Anthony Martial scored some goals in the second half, and you guys are telling me, no, don't judge Ten Hag by that game, judge him by the second half. United came back in the second half and showed some fight in the second half, yeah? So you're saying, getting dropped 6-0 by City, Couldn't hold Ten Hag accountable for that. Can't hold him accountable for that. So I'm trying to figure out, what are we holding? I'm not saying Ten Hag controls the transfer market, but he's telling you guys who to go for and who not to go for, right? He's the one who's helping to draw up lists. The manager draws up a list of players that he wants, yeah? And it's down for Arnold and Murta to go and get those players. In the summer, it was quite clear to most people involved that Frenkie de Jong did not want to join Manchester United. The question is, why did Manchester United repeatedly wait and wait and wait to sign a player who wanted to stay at Barcelona? I believe that's Erik Ten Hag. He's told them. And I believe it's because Ten Hag has probably had some kind of assurance from Frenkie de Jong that if things go tits up at Barcelona, he'll play for Man United. But I think Ten Hag is obviously told them. It's got to be Ten Hag. You can't tell me that Richard Arnold and John Murta went rogue and held on in the market for players that Ten Hag didn't want. That's what I'm saying. But you guys, I'm just saying, like, don't seem to want to hold Ten Hag accountable for anything, do you? He can do no wrong, can he? He can do no wrong. I think I am spitting facts, LD Phoenix. They don't seem to want to hold Erik Ten Hag accountable for anything. No, it's bizarre. I'm not saying he's a bad manager, but I'm saying there are definite things that have gone on. So I'm saying, like, Frenkie de Jong, waiting for Frenkie de Jong in the transfer market and overpaying for Anthony. Are we going to hold Ten Hag accountable for Anthony so far? Yes or no? I'm trying to get the markers here so that when we look at this table, hopefully at the end of the season together, we can look at your objectives and we can see, right, has he lived up to the objectives? That's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get the objectives. I'm trying to get the objectives so that we can see if Ten Hag's, met the objectives. So we can actually judge if he's actually, because it seems like there's a lot of moving of the goalposts, isn't it? A lot of moving of the goalposts. Got beat 4-0 by Brentford. Didn't hold Ten Hag accountable. Got beat 4-0 by Brentford. If Jose Mourinho turned up. Can you imagine if a Jose Mourinho team turned up and got beat 4-0? What would happen if a Jose Mourinho Manchester United team turned up and got beat 4-0 at Brentford? Come on. I'm just trying to figure it out. That's all I'm saying. Like, Jose Mourinho team turned up and got beaten 4-0 by Brentford. Would we be hearing stories about Jose Mourinho? Yes or no? Of course we would. But when it's Ten Hag, it's like the goalposts get changed, don't they? Blue Collar Sports says Anthony was purely the board. We could have got him for 50 million in July, but the board were not willing to go for it. Okay, I don't want to go around in circles, Blue Collar Sports, but my impression of the situation is that you were waiting for De Jong, so you didn't know how much you're going to have to pay for Frenkie de Jong. So all your transfers were kind of fucked because you spent so much time waiting for Frenkie de Jong. Because your man here, Ten Hag, had you guys basically waiting for De Jong, basically. And then by the time you finally pulled out of that, you got left with your pants down. You panicked by Casemiro and you overpaid for Anthony. But we'll wait and see. Right, let's have a look at your things. A Stiff Tackle says he was right to wait. Jesus. Frenkie de Jong didn't want to leave Barcelona. He was world class. We pushed the money to CDM and go for CN next summer. If we got Frenkie de Jong, we would need a DM this summer. Legendary Apex says waited too long to make a substitution. Garnacho needed to be in early, like Casemiro needed to be out last game. Are we holding Erik Ten Hag accountable for substitutions today? Anybody? Just out of interest, are you holding Erik Ten Hag accountable for bringing in Garnacho with 2 minutes to go in the game against Arsenal? Not going for the win, sitting back, settling for the draw. Is that the United way that you spoke about when you win trophies with Jose Mourinho? Just out of interest. Are we holding him accountable for that? Let's quick look at these final comments. Lisandro was the second choice centre-back we wanted. Yes, and we got him way before we got Anthony and Frenkie. Ultra the guy was in the job 2 minutes. Do you really think the entire board want him to say? Well, that's what it's supposed to do. He's the manager. Back the manager. Of course. That's what he's supposed to do. It's not for fucking Murta. Murta and Arnold are businessmen, right? It's not down to Murta and Arnold to devise your fucking transfer strategy, is it? They're not football people, are they? They're business people. Murta and Arnold are business people. Richard Arnold's a business guy, right? Friend of the Glazers, isn't he? It's not down. He's not coming up with transfer targets. Fucking Ten Hag, innit? It's Ten Hag's coming up with the list, isn't he? This is interesting. Arnold lied to fans at pub. No, I'm not going to get into that. I thought the conduct of those fans at the pub was disgusting, by the way. And I thought Richard Arnold handled that very well. But we'll talk about that another day. Murta is literally the director of football. Right, so last time I heard, John Murta, yeah? You're telling me he comes up with a list of targets? It's not Erik Ten Hag. Erik Ten Hag doesn't give him a list of players and say, this is who we need. Go and get them. John Murta is the one who's coming up and deciding who to get. Was it John Murta who decided to... With the Frenkie de Jong situation, who came up with that idea? Erik Ten Hag or John Murta? Whose idea was it to waste most of your transfer window waiting for a player who didn't want to join United over Barcelona? Look, can I just say something? I'm not being an arsehole, but this was the talk of the summer, right? Wasn't it? This was the talk of the entire summer. Every single club was wondering, why are you wasting so much time on a player who doesn't want to play for your club over Barcelona? Why did you waste so much time on that? You're blaming fucking Murta, yeah? You're blaming Murta. And you're saying Ten Hag had nothing to do with it. Are you nuts? Come on, man. The manager provides a list of the players with backups. It's the board that stuck to Frenkie. Fuck, you lot are not having it. You guys are defending Ten Hag for everything. Even the Frenkie de Jong saga. You're blaming that on Murta and Arnold over fucking Ten Hag. Okay. Alright. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, this is interesting. I learn something new every day. Alright. So let me go back to your things for Ten Hag. Somebody said top 4, yeah? That's your target for Ten Hag, yeah? Top 4, right? That's how we're judging Ten Hag. Top 4. Jeez, these Frenkie de Jong comments are unbelievable. I just think, like I said before, you know, for me, it's quite clear that the manager wanted the player and told them to wait for the player. I don't know why people are blaming fucking Murta and fucking Arnold over that. Jesus Christ. Do you really believe Ten Hag said, no, guys, he doesn't want to join, let's leave it? And then Murta and Arnold carried on. Come on. Look, Ten Hag messed up in the summer of the year. It's okay, you know. Not all managers are perfect. Just admit he messed up, man. Shauna Medieval saying top 4, then next year challenge for a title. Let's have a look. You are right. It was Ten Hag. Of course I'm right. I know I'm right. Sorry, but come on. Right. What are we saying? Top 4. So that's your target for this season. Top 4, yeah? So as long as Ten Hag gets top 4, but then next season they've got a challenge for the title. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. All right, we'll see. And you guys are convinced he's the right man, yeah? Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We've done 2 hours on this now, so we'll have to see. All right, it is what it is. I'll remember these comments. And I've got you all on the hook now. So let's have a look at your schedules to finish. Ten Hag's the right man. Okay. So, the Europa League game against Barca. What are we saying, United fans? Are we saying that game don't count now, yeah? The Europa League game against Barca. I think you can win that game. Win the tie, certainly. I think if you get out unscathed in a new camp, I think at Old Trafford, you've got a good chance. Definitely. Barca ain't invincible. They ain't invincible. They don't like pace at the back. Yeah. Richard says, what about trophies? How far are Man United expected to get in the cups? So what are your expectations then? So let's start with this then. Let's look at your big games then. So Europa League. Is Ten Hag expected to do anything in the Europa League? Or is it just about finishing top 4? Let me know about that. The cups, I think you think you've won the Carabao Cup, right? Already. So it looks like he's probably going to win the Carabao Cup because all the other big teams are out, right? Is that correct? Well, certainly Man City are at the Carabao Cup. We'll check the Carabao Cup in just a sec. So top 4. Anything else other than top 4? Brian Burke says there's a reason Barca are in the Europa League, not the Champions League. They've struggled in Europe. Have you seen them recently? Fucking hell. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, mate. Fucking hell. We'll see. We'll see. I'll give United a chance because Barca at the back, they're a bit dodgy in transition. And Rashford is very quick. One-on-one, Rashford at the minute is very, very quick. But you see how you suffered today against Arsenal. You didn't see the ball against the possession team against Arsenal today. And you suffered. You was under the cosh. Well, Barcelona are a completely different outfit, mate. A completely different outfit, bro. Who is that guy who scored 2 against you today for Arsenal? What was his name? Number 14 for Arsenal. Jesus fucking Christ. Eddie Nketiah. Jesus Christ. Bro. There ain't no Eddie Nketiahs at fucking Barca, bro. Tell you that now. Look. This is who you're going to be going up against, man. We'll see, man. We'll see. United coming that game. So what? Give me something that I can nail you down on now. Right. Sean is saying he doubts Europa's a priority. So what are we saying? If you get smashed in the Europa League, we don't count. Is that going to be Ten Hag doesn't care about the Europa League top 4? So give me something. It's just top 4, right? That's it. No cups, nothing. Top 4. What about this Carabao Cup? Are you expecting to win that? Given that it's just you and Newcastle, the only big teams left in it. Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. I do think, honestly, Lewandowski is a much more well-rounded striker than Haaland, you know. Genuinely, like, I think you'll see, but we'll see in it. I think Lewandowski is a lot more well-rounded striker. He's not just a poacher. He's a very, very good player. He can come short. He can pass. He can link play. He's an exceptional all-round player. He has quite a few assists. Lewandowski has 22 goals in 23 games, but he also has 6 assists as well for Barca this season. Brian Burke is saying we should go for it, but Barca are a quality team. Well, you just said they struggle in Europe for a reason, you nut job. Make up your mind, Brian Burke. What's going on? So what are we saying? That's it. Top 4 and that's it, yeah? Top 4 and that's it. No, not bothered about cups. Are we bothered about the Carabao Cup? Yes or no? Give me something that I can nail you down on and then we're going. If Newcastle win the League Cup, Jesus Christ. I'm just trying to... They're not giving me anything that I can... And I don't hate Man United at all, but they're not giving me anything that I can just fucking nail them down on. I'm asking them for like... Right, you're saying Ten Hag's the guy for United. All I'm saying is, give me something that I can... qualitatively look at and say, right. Because I'm looking at the league table, that doesn't show it. I'm looking at the way you play football, that doesn't show it. But you're telling me give him time, so let me see. 4th all trophy. Right. So, man like Ryan is saying top 4 and cup. Okay. Tiz is saying 4th or a trophy. 4th or a trophy, Tiv. So, if he doesn't finish top 4, but he was the Carabao Cup, you'd say that's a successful season. Is that right, Tiz? Stiff Tackle says, you can nail me down on this. In 3.5 seasons under Ten Hag, United will be one of the contenders. Well, they were a contender under fucking Mourinho in how many seasons? So what? What does that mean? What does that mean? In 3.5 seasons, you'll be contenders. Were you ever in a title race with Jose? Didn't Ole get you second? What the fuck is that? Telling me this guy's the second coming, isn't it? I don't know. We'll see. Ultra, you're being too critical. I understand. We'll see. I understand. Give him more time. Okay. All right. Yeah. 3.5 seasons to be contenders. I don't understand. Look, I don't understand, but we'll leave it there. Look, I've got nothing against United. You're a very, very entertaining club. I've enjoyed discussing your club. It's just hard for me to sometimes it's just a little bit hard for me to process some of this stuff. That's all I'm saying, because it's like, from my perspective, when I see you win trophies, you say it's not about the trophies you win, it's about how you win the trophies, right? Now you're not playing great football, but now you're telling me it's about the results. So that's kind of getting me. And then we're saying, okay, we're going to be in title contenders and blah, blah, blah. 3 years. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. You're spending 200 million in the fucking window. Stiff Tackle. 200 million in a transfer window. Let me ask you one last question before we go. How much money will United have to spend this summer to compete? Just tell me out of interest. Because I know they're going to be thinking about summer signings. How much do you think you need to spend in the window to compete for the title? I'll tell you now, United fans ain't waiting 3 years to compete, by the way. They're not waiting 3 seasons to be title contenders. If Erik Ten Hag isn't contending for the title next season, United fans are going to call for his head. I'll tell you that now. I will tell you that now. I will promise you that now. Ten Hag ain't getting 3 years to be a contender. Ten Hag ain't getting 3 years to be no contender. If you guys are competing for a title next season, and that's why I'm doing this episode, you see, because I know how fans work. Do you think I didn't see you guys saying Ole in, Ole's at the wheel? Do you guys think I didn't hear that? Do you think I didn't know that you guys were screaming Ole's at the wheel? I know you were screaming Ole's at the wheel, so let's see it. Yeah, we'll see. Ole's at the wheel. Ole's at the wheel. 12 months later, you wanted this guy out. Come on, man. You think I've forgotten this stuff? Ole's at the wheel. 12 months later, it's Ole out. Come on, man. I know how you guys work. I know how Man United fans work. So I just want to get it down here. Right. All right. But you're saying give Ten Hag time. Okay. All right. We'll see. We'll see. Well, I've enjoyed that. I'll watch the game. I'll keep watching the game. And we'll see how it goes. The football's interesting, and we'll see. We'll see if Rashford can continue this run of form. I have to say, he looks world class at the minute, but whether he can keep it up or not, I don't know. But he looks like a top quality player at the minute. I just think today, without that little bit of world class from Rashford, I don't think you're really in that game of Arsenal today. You played decent against City in the second half. We'll have to wait and see where it goes on. Right, if you were to join me for this game, if I still have a channel, on the 16th of Feb at 5:45, please feel free to join me for Barca versus Man United. You are more than welcome to join me on this channel. If I still have a channel, we can cover this game live and we can watch this game together. I think United have I think if they can get out of here with a draw or whatever or whatnot, they can do something at Old Trafford, because at Old Trafford, but it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you one thing. I will say this now. Barcelona aren't taking United for a joke. Like, I watched the fan base very, very carefully. They're worried about Rashford, and their lineup will change. Jeez, I'm trying to get to their games. Their lineup will change as a result. So what you'll see Barca do, by the way, man like Ryan is saying, United are going to beat Barcelona 2-1. In the new camp, you're going to beat them 2-1 in the new camp, yeah? Have you seen Barcelona play yet, man like Ryan? Have you actually seen them play? Let me know. What Barcelona will do for you guys, because they're worried about Rashford, this team that they're playing will change. So they'll play Jules Koundé at right back, and Balde will play left back. And that will be for Anthony, and that will be for Rashford. These are two of the quickest players on the team. Balde's exceptional. If you ever watched a bit of Spanish football, keep an eye on. He's been linked with Arsenal, but he would never sign for Arsenal in a million years because he's a star at Barcelona. He is a hell of a player, this kid here. 18 years old, plays for Spain, plays for Barca. Balde, one of the fastest players, extremely fast player. This will be who they use to counter Rashford and Anthony when they play. So they'll swap this out. Koundé will go to right back and Balde will go to left back. And these will be the guys that will be going against Rashford and Anthony. Man like Ryan is saying, Barca are crap end off. Yeah, they look like crap to me. As you can see there, this has got a centre line of Frenkie de Jong, Gavi and Pedri. And then up front, they're going to be going with Dembele, Rafinha and Lewandowski. If you think that's crap, man like Ryan, I tell you, you're going to be in for a rough night. Live with me on the 16th. It's going to be a rough night for you, bro. If you think Gavi and Pedri are crap. Yeah, they think about Casemiro running the midfield. Wait till you see Gavi and Pedri, man. Oh my lord. You're gonna know what running the midfield is really about, bro. You're gonna see how midfield really gets run, innit? Not that Scott McTominay stuff that you guys be serving up at Old Trafford, man. Scott McTominay. Listen, you got a chance, but you can't call Barca shit. They're a good team, man. They're really good, man. So we'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see. I just don't. It's unbelievable. Like, United have got a chance, definitely, because Rashford's on fire, and United, Barca are a bit dodgy against pace. When they lose the ball in transition, and Barca are also dodgy from crosses as well. So if you can whip the ball in, they are a bit dodgy from crosses. So United, it wouldn't surprise me if United could get a goal in the Nou Camp on the break. But they go there, they're not going to see a lot of the ball. That's going to be the problem. You see today against Arsenal, they really struggled out of possession. You know, they're going to... If you look at the statistics in La Liga, Barca are averaging something like 65% possession. I mean, they're averaging. That's their average in La Liga. They're averaging 65% possession. Teams that come to the Nou Camp don't see the football. That's what that means, mate. Teams that come to the Nou Camp ain't seeing the football. So, I don't know what to say to you, man, like Ryan, but we'll see. He's saying just what... Listen, if you're right, then you're right. No, my luck, you probably will be. But we'll see. They're a very, very good team. Do you think, man like Ryan, before we go, do you think if I put this Man United squad, yeah, that played today against Arsenal, do you think, and you can add Casemiro in there, do you think if I put you in with Real Madrid right now, do you think you could beat Real Madrid 3-0? So just out of interest, if I took your Man United team and added Casemiro, yeah, and I put your team against this team here, Modric, Cruz, Camavinga, Vinicius, Benzema, Valverde, Rudiger, Militao, Mendy, Carvajal and Courtois. Do you think you'd win 3-0? Away from home against this team? Do you think... So 3-1. Do you think this Man United team under Erik Ten Hag would go in a neutral stadium and beat this Real Madrid team 3-1 and play them off the park? Just genuine question. Benzema... Vinicius Junior. I want you to think about what would happen when Vinicius Junior gets one-on-one with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. What do you think happens when Vinicius Junior gets one-on-one with Wan-Bissaka? What's the end of that story? You think you're going to beat Madrid 3? You think you beat Madrid 3-1? Yeah. We'll see. All right, we'll give you time. Valverde's a baller. Yeah, we'll give you time. I don't know. I love United fans. They're always good value. Right, United fans, I'll see you on the 16th. I hope you've enjoyed the chat. Please hit the like button. I've given you a bit of a thing. You haven't got any big games coming up, so we can't cover any big games live together, but we'll see what happens, all right? And if you do lose to Crystal Palace in your next game at home, then maybe we'll do another stream and have a chat. And we'll have another chat about Erik Ten Hag, the management, the subs, and what's going on. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you've all enjoyed the stream. Just a bit of a laugh. Nothing personal. Just a bit of banter. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Peace out.